are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. We're back on track on the floor, scoring Morris 94, and the Knicks are hardcore. And I'll tell you like this, we ain't never looked sharper. With Hubert, Bonner, Gray, and Harper, it's the Knicks, and we're back on pace. Everyone's gearing up for the championship race, and the fans are going crazy, and they're doing it for a reason. Cause 94 is the Knickerbocker season. You better believe the Knicks got all that takes. We're shooting three-pointers, and we're running fast breaks. And if your defense makes a mistake, then bam! Ewing dunks in your face. This is a team you don't wanna miss. We are New York. We are the New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go! So yo, bust it, all you hear is a swish. Threes by Starks and dunks by Smith. And no rebounds, if that's the case, we put Oakley and Mace in your face. We draw charges and we set picks. We are New York. We are the New York Knicks. Say go New York, go New York.
Hey folks, welcome to Violent People Radio, episode numero 30. I'm your host, Sam Damasio, and 5-0. Doing me per usual, man, myth, the legend, Chris. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Dan, you're doing worse.
I'm doing pretty bad. I feel like shit. My throat and my ear are killing me. And I think the Cavs played the worst basketball game I've ever seen on my birthday.
Contrary to the New York Knickerbockers, who
I'm not gonna say the worst. No, we're not talking about the Knicks. They're whatever. I'm not gonna say the worst thing in Cleveland sports. People have been saying that. That's wild. That's like baby brain.
What's going on?
I mean, your Knicks doing well. No one wants to talk about that.
Oh,
the Knicks are doing well at the cost of a brave man's heroic sacrifice of his own Achilles tendon.
That's it. That's what happened. Prayers up for Tatum. You know, hope he's back in a year, good as he's ever been. Also hope the Celtics implode. So both things can be true. Dan, the Cavs post-game press conference, very reminiscent of when they lost to the Knicks. We're going to wrap this all together here, where Jarrett Allen during the post-game for the Knicks series, I think, was that last year or was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. You really want to talk about this, I can tell. Where they were talking about the rebounding. And Jarrett Allen was like, no, I didn't think we'd do that bad. And then he looks down at the box score and he goes, okay. And then that's essentially what Darius Garland did, just about pure effort during this last one with the Pacers. So very unfortunate. The Cavs are a mentally weak franchise, but I have hopes for you against these Indiana Pacers.
I mean, if we lose the series, which we're most likely going to lose, like next year, if we go 82-0, no one believes it.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like it does not matter.
You unfortunately are the Utah Jazz again. Donovan Mitchell, one of the great regular season performers of our time. Great at racking up those wins in the regular season. Pat, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm just great. It's funny because before last night's game, I was actually on the phone with my good personal friend Jason Tatum, and I said, I'm not sure about this strategy of constantly getting a 20-point lead over the Knicks and then letting them catch up. And he said, no, this is what the people want to see. And he paid for it. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. This is what happens when you run up a 20-point lead and then just say like, but let's let the Knicks have some. Let's make it exciting for the people.
It worked out well. They only let it 14-point lead this time. So,
The cops were shooting people in Boston over this.
I don't think that's a rare event in Boston.
I mean, it's more like this is why it was happening this week. But still.
Oh, okay.
I was in Boston this weekend. It was terrible.
Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, you never stopped bitching about it. It's like, buddy, I live here all year.
Yeah. How do you do it?
I'm tougher than you. I'm mentally
It's
tougher.
probably true. It was really messed up because it's been raining where I'm at for about 2-3 weeks now. Every day. Just nonstop, relentless.
Oh yeah, and then you came to Boston like right when it was raining like crazy.
Yeah. It was like the 1 3-day stretch that my town has had of sunshine in a month. And we get to Boston and it's just a downpour the entire time we're there. I walked 5 miles in the rain on Saturday. It was horrendous.
Yeah, guess how many I walked?
15.
Probably around 10, but still.
Wow. Sorry. Interesting.
People got some wet mail that day.
Do we have any car updates?
Oh, no. Oh, actually, yes, we do. My car failed on the highway. The brake lights just turned on. And what I learned is called limp mode. The car will power down just long enough for you to be able to get to the side of the road, which we did get to the left side of the road because I was passing people and then had to wait, I don't know, 20 minutes in the rain for a tow. And we were on the thruway. And throughways are weird. I don't like it. Where the throughways have like contracts with the towing companies and you can't just call a tow. You got to get the right tow. And people are asking what mile marker you're on. And I'm like, I have no idea. It's raining real bad out here. So took a while to figure that out. Then they're like, where do you want me to take you? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm 2 hours away from home. I don't know this area at all. So they dropped us off at a local mom and pop shop that is not open on the weekends. So that meant our car did not get worked on over the weekend, nor could we pick it up. So we had to drive home in a rental.
The crazy thing is you are just describing the plot of the movie Breakdown.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Anyway, had to drive to Boston in a Chevy Malibu. And then back. And that stunk. I didn't like it, not one bit. And now my wife has to drive with her dad to Albany tomorrow because he's going there for work. So she's going to pick up the car on the way there.
Man, if you complain about being in Boston and then you go to fucking Albany, Jesus.
It's not great. Hey, none of this is good. None of this is good.
It's like, what's next weekend? What is it, like Gloversville?
I wish. I hope to not have to travel anywhere for the next month. It's bad.
Scenic vacationing in Del Mar, New York.
The next
just
place,
for the upstate New York listeners of the show.
Yes.
This is just a little something for them.
We're getting a little regionally specific here. Really tapping into the mainstream. Next trip I take is to Philadelphia, September, for AEW having 20 shows in 10 days. At the ECW arena.
I'm very tempted to go there for like that entire week and then only go to Dean.
That'll show.
That's probably what I do. Like,
I mean, because part of me is just like, well, I could go to like 6 wrestling shows in 6 days, or I could just like go out and do other stuff.
Yeah.
Going to all of them is psycho behavior.
So that might be the only way to see all of AEW's roster is to like, spread out. They're all spread out across 6 days of TV. And even then you'll like miss some of them.
How long is it going to take to announce this goddamn 10-man Cybernetico they're fucking running?
And I guess they just won't. Oh, they announced one other match, right? But like,
yeah,
They're just never gonna do like. They're going real slow with this shit. They know it's free, I guess.
We're 11 days away. You still want people to show up to a free event?
We're 11 days away. 6 of those days are going to be the rest of the participants.
I guess if you're doing it that way, it's
I mean,
bananas.
having, I think I said this last show maybe, but having even half of one match announced 11 days before an AEW show is still like, it beats all of Tony's previous records.
I also don't love that like we have every Philadelphia show announced except Dean. Like they put out the little graphic. They're like, here's the 7 shows, but there's an 8th show we're not talking about, and we won't tell you when it is.
It's also funny that for some reason, it doesn't make any sense to me why you would bother making the distinction. The Dean like profile picture is no longer featuring AEW. It just features Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which I feel is like, let's set some expectations here on who you're not going to see at this event now that we're 12 days away. Just like...
I mean, if it did turn into like, if they brought out like, you know, like Adam Page or whatever for Dean, it's, I don't know, it wouldn't feel as Dean to me. It would just feel like an AEW show with that they brought in some indie guys for.
Sure. I just don't get why doing it. Why like make the declaration now? We're already.
It's not like it's not like holograms.
Match.
Hologram's not like a Ring of Honor guy.
No. Beast Mortos also like yes, Ring of Honor. In Ring of Honor, I would not say like he's the Ring of Honor guy.
What Tony should do with his money is he should go around to all of the early 2000s Philly promotions and be like, let me buy the rights to your logo for this. Just so they're advertising like 3PW.
Hell, yes,
one of the
exactly. 3PW is one of the promotions. I have one of their DVDs I got from a Smart Mark video grab bag.
And yet once every 10 episodes, I have to explain who Jasmine St. Clair is. Explain that to me.
What does that mean?
She owned 3PW.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You did.
It was when her.
The
her
third time
and
I've
me,
explained it to you.
I didn't know that.
Explained it to you.
That's interesting.
Unbelievable stuff here from Sam.
I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Dan, what have you been watching besides the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Okay, well, the first thing I talk about is I watched this match for 8-man tag. I don't know why I'm saying 4. Crazy King, Fandango, Paranoco, and Damus versus Principe Centauro, Brazo de Platino, Jimmy, and Pinocchito Jr. Just forget this match. It's whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Thanks for letting us know, Dan.
But wait, the last 3 minutes. Pinocchio Jr., I don't know, whatever, goes for a dive, and Damus just moves out of the way and tosses him into the guardrail. And that's where fucking magic starts to happen. Because Damus just sits there and stares at him while they load him onto a stretcher. And then the second they load him onto a stretcher, he attacks him with the board. The guys break up. Then they go to pick up the stretcher again. Then Damus hits him with the senton. And then they finally, they calm down. They get him on the stretcher. This is like they're on the far side of the ring. So they get him on the stretcher. And as they turn the corner of the ring, Damus had slid back in and dives out of the ring onto him on top of the stretcher again. It's just wonderful stuff. So really just skip to the end of that match. I don't even remember the finish. None of that is involved in the finish. Like that is all extra stuff. I think the finish takes place like intermince that. But that's where we're after. But I didn't really watch a lot of wrestling. I watched that. I watched are you guys familiar with Major League Wrestling?
Oh boy, am I.
They had an event called MLW Azteca Lucha 2025. Took place on Saturday from Cicero, Illinois. It was free on YouTube, and I watched the whole thing. Our boy Austin Aries back again on commentary. This is like, I guess, a thing they're going to stick with.
Why not?
He seems to have watched a little bit of MLW. Like he kind of knew what was going on, which was not the case in his last event. So it's like good for him. You got the Depredadores versus Blue Panther Jr. and Dark Panther. It was fine. It was whatever. Alex Hammerstone versus Satoshi Kojima.
Money match.
Money match. Crowd doesn't care at all. Kojima doesn't care at all. Alex
Hey,
Hammerstone, very
He's
tired.
got cancer.
No, he's fine now.
Oh, okay. Don't you have cancer? You always have cancer.
I thought it was fine. Alex Hammerstone did seem so tired that I was like, man, maybe that match was longer than I thought. No, it was 12 minutes. It was 12 minutes.
Longer than it should have been.
You, I believe, were upset that it was Guerrero Mayo Jr. and Hechicero versus Esfinge and Atlantis, because you wanted it to be Atlantis Jr., I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine. Old man was fine.
Yeah,
I thought he looked really good in this.
Okay. Sure.
No, Guerrero Mayo Jr. and Hechicero were bumping around for him. This was like probably the second best match of the night, maybe the best even.
Heck yeah.
The only other match that I would maybe call better was the MLW National Openweight Title 3-way match, which is Ultimo Guerrero versus Cavanario versus Zandokan Jr. And this is good. I don't know why MLW is obsessed with putting luchadors in triple threat matches. I think it's stupid. But it's really fun. Cavanario is always like one of the best wrestlers in the world. Then you get some more MLW-ness in. You get Matt Riddle versus Donovan Dijak for the world title.
Another money match.
Another money match. So money that they didn't make it the main event. So they knew. This was not good. I mean, it was as good as all the Matt Riddle matches. The main event
As good as all of Donovan Dijak matches.
Yeah, both of them in 2025.
Oh,
I
that's
think
a joke.
people
Funny.
people are pretending that Donovan Dijak is good. I think is like the new thing.
Oh,
I've liked some of his work,
okay.
but we're gonna act like he's good. I think that's a bridge too far.
I agree.
You guys are rancid for that.
I think it was you, and I want to say Q was going hard for him. Like I just think I feel like I've watched a fair amount of Donovan Dijak in 2025.
I think if me and Quentin agree on any wrestler, they are good. Like that's just a fact. There's no way it can appeal to both of us and that person not be actually good.
But I think he appeals to you guys both as like I think you both have watched one good Dijak match and be like, oh, Dijak's back.
Dijak's back.
Is the only explanation I can have as a guy who's watched.
No, actually, I watched fucking Battle Riot. And you
thought he was great in that?
I thought he whipped ass. So
Whipped ass.
Whipped ass. Sorry
You liked him in
like
Mexico too,
road
right?
Wrestling. What?
You liked him in Mexico too, right? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Shout him out.
He rocked.
Okay.
I think
I like that match.
Awfully disrespectful.
I like the Cruel match that he had.
He has a Thatcher match, right?
Yeah, I liked.
Yeah, fucking rocked.
Oh shit, my brain's not working. He's my guy too.
Yeah.
He had an AIW match I like. Oh, Sam Holloway. I thought they had a good match, but that was last year. I think that was 2024. But whatever. The main event of Azteca Lucha was Mystico versus Akira Kwan versus Templario. Another 3-way. And you got to throw Akira Kwan in there if you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This was not good, and Mystico didn't look great. Looked like maybe he's still hurting. All in all, it's MLW. You know, I say watch it. It's free on YouTube.
King of Sports.
I'm a little upset because they taped the War Chamber show that's airing in June at the same time. And
in June? In this economy?
It's airing in June. Yeah, it's airing June 7th. And the War Chamber match, the Rogue Horsemen, which is Bobby Fish, Brett Ryan Gosselin, Brock Anderson, C.W. Anderson, as we all know.
Yep.
Facing Alex Kane, Mr. Thomas, Matthew Justice, and Paul London. I love Alex Kane and Mr. Thomas. You got to get one of those motherfuckers out of there and put in Paul Walter Hauser, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not going to look at the results of this show because you never know.
I'm not looking at the results. I'm looking at just the card. They have like Cage Match has the spoiler-free card. So maybe you're saying he's involved?
I'm saying I wouldn't rule it out.
It just seems like he would fucking rule in a War Chamber match.
I think he worked one in like the Hales race.
It
worked like a War Game style match.
Probably Southern Honor, which is
I think it was Southern
Hales enemy promotion.
Oh, he did.
What?
Yep, Sudden Honor.
Yeah. What the fuck is this card? Anyway, Bob
I
of
didn't look
Thunder and Mads Kruger versus Matt Riddle and Tom Lawler in a Chicago street fight.
Oh, that's what I want to see.
Ah, another Dummy XO title match. This time it's Challenger. Man, you're ready for that?
I'm not at all. Oh, I didn't. This card makes me say I didn't say the biggest news. It wasn't listed as a cage match, but Myron Reed had maybe a match. I don't know. They had one of what's his face's minions come out and they announced them and he got in the ring like it was gonna be a match, but then instead the young goat Myron Reed, who I think is got to be getting close to 30, ran in and hit him with an ace cutter of some kind.
Oh, cage match says 27, which does seem incorrect.
27 feels like he's been around for fucking forever, but I don't know.
It goes back to 2016. So, all in all,
I guess that math is math, and I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of that, all I watched was not MLW matches, Sabu matches.
Which I think we'll just talk about later.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hold off on that.
Big top. Anyway, Pat, what you watching? You said you were just watching Sabu. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. All I watched was Sabu this past
All you
week,
watched
so
was
I don't
Sabu.
know if we want to hold off.
Did you listen to any podcasts at all?
I did listen. I listened to Dave Meltzer rambling his way through discussing the life and legacy of Terry Brunk, and I came away feeling so much smarter.
Okay.
I listened to Rule Breakers with Soraya.
That's what I want to know about. That's really what I want to know.
That's why we're all here.
Not a great episode. Not one of the better episodes.
Oh,
I heard this
girl.
This was aggregated on my Twitter that she turned down a romance storyline with Daddy Magic, Matt Menard.
Wow.
According to her, the premise of this past episode was that she was getting a tattoo while answering all of her fans, answering like an AMA type deal, and that was the only real salient wrestling thing that was discussed. The rest of it was just, just kind of went in one ear and out the other. I don't know. I don't know about this Rule Breakers with Soraya. I had a lot of hope going in that it would be gloriously dumb, and now I'm starting to think it might just be kind of dumb.
Damn. I hate to hear it. It
I
had
do
so
too.
much potential.
I mean, hopefully she rights the ship, and by that I mean takes like a hard left turn directly into the iceberg. She did mention in talking about her book that I haven't read her book. I also probably won't read her book. But she said, I left out one of my relationships entirely, which tells me that the book says nothing about Alberto Del Rio. And I don't know if it's funnier to completely ignore his existence or if it would have been funnier to use the book to trash him.
Trash.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio.
WWE AAA Mega Campeon Alberto Del Rio.
No, he does. Well, they just hired him so they can fire him.
Authority chest right there.
Yeah, Triple H knows what's
going
going on.
It would be awesome if they sent him to TNA for a feast or fired match.
See, the thing about Triple H is that he's the good guy. He's the architect of it all. He has saved pro wrestling, but also he is not in any way in charge of who they hire or fire. And we got to make that clear.
Yeah, that's all. God, who would be doing that? Johnny Ace, I think, is dead or something.
No, he hires the people you like. He fires people you don't, and vice versa.
I do think it's awesome that Go on, Chris. Sorry.
We do have to say that also Shawn Michaels does not have any influence on the company. He loved every wrestler that they fired.
They're all such beautiful souls. But yeah, I do think it's awesome that the Triple Mania show that's coming up, everyone is kind of like waiting with bated breath to see who WWE sends, and they seem to be sending only what's his fucking Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo,
Umberto. Yeah.
and every other guest star is like TNA. They're sending Moose.
Both Nemeth.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, I was looking to see what AAA's future looked like, and I think I see it now. But it's a matter of time before we get like AAA on the fucking Tubi in a Power Hour block with Evolve. But
All
yes,
right.
anything else I watched this week is best covered during our big top on the big man, the big dog.
The big guy upstairs. All right. Next up, then, Chris. So, what have you been watching?
I watched wrestling this week. I just
Ooh.
wanna start off by saying I committed to the act of watching pro wrestling, and I even enjoyed some of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
What are we thinking, like percentage wise, for enjoyed?
Honestly, a good deal of it. I watched. I'll start out first. I caught up on an entire month's worth of AEW TV. The month of February. So I won't be talking about this very long because everyone has already seen these matches. But yeah, the Mariah May Tony Storm Grand Slam match is pretty great. I had watched this previously, but I rewatched it. The Big Bill versus Powerhouse Hobbs match is awesome. Feud of the year in AEW so far. Like the Hurt Business, good stuff with the guns. Beast Mortos versus Hologram got like a lot of hype. It was pretty good. Like outside of the Mariah May Tony Storm matches, like all of these are just like pretty good. Harley Cameron, I liked that Mercedes match. Orange Cassidy's matches with Roderick Strong and then Takeshita are both very good TV main events. Like a lot of just easy watching TV there. Like enough good matches to keep you going while it's playing on Max, and then like the matches that like I didn't mention in between, nothing like too offensive. One of the better MJF matches against Dustin Rhodes in that span, because it's Dustin Rhodes, and it kind of just makes Max wrestle to like the barest, and you're not getting like super work rate Max, which I appreciate. But yeah, good month of TV. I also watched the most recent episode of Dynamite from beautiful Detroit, Michigan. And I thought that was another solid episode of TV. You can hear more about it in the most recent episode of Dig Deep. They'll go way more in depth. But I thought the trios match with Briscoe, Speedball, and Swerve versus Ricochet and the Young Bucks, like that was some pretty good PWG, as opposed to what worst case scenario is, and it's bad PWG. It's just like a fun spot fest match with a lot of talented guys. And then I also really enjoyed the Okada versus Kevin Knight match. Because you got like a really good babyface performance from Kevin Knight. He gets his ass kicked by Roosh before the match, and then Okada just kind of preys on him. And like Kevin Knight, I think he's a super fun wrestler, and you got like some really good babyface spark of him going against Okada, who's just bullying him the entire time. Really fun stuff. And also, outside of my forays into AEW, I watched a little bit of Lucha.
Oh, you're rounding it up?
I'm starting to get some things in order. Yeah, I may be rounding up some Lucha. So today I watched the first 2 Lucha Memes shows of February. The first one has the better matches overall. The second show is probably better top to bottom. It's just like consistent. But I mean, the February 9th Lucha Memes show, like it's very tag focused. So you got like a pretty decent Argus and Gaius match. You got a pretty decent Flystar and Sagittarius match. But the real stuff that you came here to see is there's a Magnetico versus Virus match. Which I'm not going to like overhype it and say it's like match of the year quality, but like it's Magnetico is good and Virus is one of the best. So you're like just having them let loose in Coliseo Calicaco. You're gonna get a real solid watch out of that. Like it's not something you make the case for either guy at the end of the year, but it's just like another feather in the cap. And the main event, which is Karma Uno y Karma Dos versus Reyes Bertano and Xiaohua. And Reyes Bertano is probably the best of the younger guys in Lucha Memes. I think I forgot him on my VP 100, and I got mad when I realized that. Because he is getting like really good, and he's just a really solid all-around wrestler for them. And he's tagging with Xiaohua, who we've hyped, like everyone is hyped to hell and back. The Karmas had a phenomenal match with Argus and Gaius earlier in the year. And seeing them continue that in another great tag was just beautiful stuff. Second Lucha Meme show from the 16th of February. Just really solid top to bottom. It is a tribute to the Voladors, but not Volador Jr. He's not there. You've got Volador Sr. and Hio del Volador.
Interesting.
And they're wrestling Avisman and Cachorro de Guerra, which is just like your pretty standard, rock solid tribute to a legend match. Magnetico had another great match, or maybe not great, but like really good match with Adam Del Castillo. There's a really fun trios at the start. Flystar and Reyes Bartano have a great, like, really good match. And then the other two like La Brava and Sagittarius, rock solid women's match, and then Bogambilia and Maximo versus Scalar and Visionario. That's just like fine, but it's fun to see like Maximo work the gimmick in Coacalco and do all that shtick. It's fun. It's breezy. Both shows are pretty easy watches, as Lucha Memes tends to be for me. But it was good to like watch a bunch of wrestling and get excited for it and enjoy it. And you will be hearing more about Lucha that I watched, particularly from the month of February soon.
I love to hear it.
I cannot wait. I need to know what IWRG to watch. And
No one's telling you.
Without your roundups, I'm just paralyzed. I'm like, what if I accidentally watch like a Shako match?
It's a real danger out there. You could just randomly turn it off or turn it on, and Ivan Rokov is there.
Oh,
Nobody wants that.
Your services are also especially vital since the videos uploaded in the last week feature on LuchaDB hasn't worked since December.
Yeah, that is a real bummer that we have come across this year. And
so now more than ever, we need Lucha roundups as a society.
Cubs got to get it together.
Oh, yeah. All right. Are we ready to go talk about what's on the site and what might be coming to the site?
Did you watch any wrestling?
Oh, shit. Nothing that wasn't Sabu.
Oh, all right.
I traveled from Friday to Sunday, wanted to die Monday, and simply didn't do anything Wednesday or Thursday. So that's the week. All right. What's been going on the site? Who has the all-encompassing breakdown of where we're at? Because nothing written is going up. I feel it's safe to say.
No,
We
it's
have-
podcast, baby.
It's
Yeah, we
podcast.
pivoted to the labs.
We have so many fucking podcasts right now. Dig deep. We have another episode. Dig deep. Get on it. Subscribe today. Then we have Q&T. Q&TR. They have posted another episode that I have not gotten to yet. They are on a roll, as the kids say. Multiple podcasts here. And then the lab feed is labbing. We have Dramatic Kings of Comedy with another breakdown from Cole. We have Cole, for some ungodly reason, doing a Maple Leaf Pro Northern Rising live event report on the lab feed. I just realized he's like marking everything as episodes numbered. I don't know why he's doing that. Cole, stop it. It doesn't make any sense. You're not doing the same podcast in a row. Anyway, then we have Pork with his long anticipated podcast with Dan. Oh, wait. Nope. Not with Dan. Sorry. So as a typo. With a bastard. Late night with the 2012 Royal Rumble. Late night with the 2012 Royal Rumble #1 with a bastard.
A name that Sam loves.
A name that really rolls off the tongue. It feels good to say and look at. Late night with the 2012 Royal Rumble #1 with a bastard, where they watch the 2012 Royal Rumble and discuss. Pork will be on every single episode with a new guest who is watching it for the first, maybe second time, unlikely the third time in their existence.
Wait till I appear again. That'll be my third time.
Yeah, I can see why you would get confused that Dan was on the podcast, because it does say with a bastard.
Yeah, that is confusing.
Got him! Got him!
I like Cole keeping track of everything he puts. Like he's on his like 7th different series, and he's gonna be just episode 32 of just Cole being on a podcast in the lab. I think it's a funny bit.
I think it's great. It implies that they're all part of the same continuity.
Well,
And
because
it
I thought
is.
at first like maybe it automatically does that, but then late night with the 2012 Royal Rumble, there's no episode.
Yeah, and just because you select episode number in the settings doesn't mean you have to go in chronological order in numerical order.
Yeah.
Regress is not part of your dramatic Kings of Comedy. Like, where does that
Please respect the Cole expanded universe.
Okay. Okay.
I think you're missing out on some lore. And,
I fucking am.
Once he does the lore breakdown, you're gonna know a lot more.
So everyone's potting. I have no way to hook all of them up to the website officially, which is really cool. And Transistor will not automatically post to Twitter anymore because the API on Twitter is Garbaggio.
But you can see them all on our podcast page if you go over there.
If you go over there,
Correct?
if you decide to go to a whole nother tab on the website,
Well,
they're there. I would recommend going there. Also, just sub to all of the podcasts on that page. You never know what's going to show up in the lab feed. I feel confident saying that because I do not know what's going to show up in the lab feed on a given week right now.
the
Yeah,
Maple Leaf Pro live report,
No,
I didn't see coming. I didn't. It
yeah,
was
that was
amazing.
left field.
I love Cole said. No one's telling me shit. People need to know.
Listen, I come on here a lot and I say, "Oh, I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna write this," and I don't. Having said that, I got something I'm writing about Sabu. Timely. It'll be up when it's up. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm sick, man.
When
I'm
did you
trying my
start
best.
it?
I started it on Monday.
Okay.
I started it on Monday, but I've been a sleepy boy.
Only Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, that was yesterday. Man, it feels like this week's been so long. I guess I started it yesterday. You're right. But I usually do most of my writing at nighttime, and I don't know that I'll be writing after this podcast. I'll probably be sleeping.
Boo.
Or crying because the Cavs are. I don't know what word you can call them in 2025.
Soul crushing.
Wait, were you going
They're
to
little-
call them a slur?
I was gonna call them the P word. I don't know if I can say that anymore, but they're little bitches. They suck. They make me sick. There's just no heart. They have no heart.
In the third quarter. 33-20. That is not great. Not great.
It's like even if we manage to win this, there's no world where we come back.
Darius Garland with a -15 plus minus.
Is that good?
That's good.
Yeah, that's
okay.
great.
Just double check.
They're losing by 9. So just get Darius Garland out there and you're good to go.
Yeah, he's no good.
Yeah, we don't pay him any money, do we?
Trash.
He's not making like $200 million, is he?
Is he making that much money?
Yeah, he
the
is.
max?
I'm pretty sure he's close. 190. He
Folks.
signed a $197 million contract.
NBA teams, you guys cannot be handing out the max like it's fucking candy. There's a period of time in the NBA where it did not seem like anyone cared about who got a max and who didn't. It was just give everyone all the money all the time. What? Like, cool for the players, but also who's making these decisions?
Garland makes more than Mitchell.
It's cool. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway.
I mean, as someone who's bad at their job, I also like when I see people rise to the top despite any effort.
I think soundboard's broken, so just imagine a bunch of air horns going off right now.
Oh, I am.
Thank you. And now it's time. Thank you.
It sounded
Big job.
exactly like that.
Big top. Anyway, it is time to talk about the Violent People Hall of Famer, the late great Sabu. Tragically passed away yesterday. Killed by Joey Janela and Brett Lauderdale.
Passed away on Sunday,
Passed away on Sunday.
I think, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Okay, Dan.
That's
Sorry,
it. This week's fucked up for me. So he died on my birthday.
Topsy turvy. Wow. Well, we have a perfect question for you in our question bucket. So excited for that.
No spoilers. But yeah,
No
Joey Janela
spoilers.
and Brett Lauderdale shot him. Is that what I'm reading?
They shot him with a gun.
They
in
shot.
cold
They
blood.
shot on him. It was a Mike Levy style.
Oh,
They
okay,
shot
alright.
him up with drugs
Mm.
and
Oh my
forced
God,
him
Sabu did drugs.
against his will.
Okay, good, because he
Or
would
to
never
say that, Dan. Sabu did drugs against his will,
Okay, sorry.
and then permanent brain damage from Joey Janela. Ipso facto. See you later. It's not goodbye. It's see you later. But yeah, it's been the discourse has been weird around someone dying, in a way that I can't say I was expecting. Which is, you know what, shame on me, thinking that this somehow wouldn't be GCW and Brett and all of them unable to log off the internet, but also people putting on some holier than thou business. But we also all, I think, watched some Sabu wrestling this week.
Yes.
How I'm very curious where everyone went with that. Like, hey, let's fucking put on some Sabu, because Sabu's like he's a different animal. He is a different type of wrestler. There is no wrestler that has ever done Sabu better than Sabu.
The original different boy, really.
Truly, truly. Chris, I'm curious, where did your Sabu journey take you?
I watched like various clips of his time in FMW, particularly tagging with the Sheik.
Sheik.
You know, watching them with like Tarzan Godo and Terry Funk and all that sort of good stuff. I watched some of my like first exposures to Sabu, the RVD matches, and the Ray match at One Night Stand. I rewatched. That is excellent. But I didn't have like a whole game plan when he passed. I was just like, I was traveling. I was at a train station in Chicago. And so I was just like searching various Sabu combinations on YouTube while I waited for my train.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Sabu had one of those careers where it feels like you could just throw on any match of his, and it's so distinctly Sabu. Like, he's gonna do something that you're like, oh, what the fuck? Amazing. Love that. Love that for you specifically. Pat, I have expectations about what you're gonna say. Where did the Sabu journey take you?
So I delved into the realm of I'm someone who was a huge fan of Sabu going back to like original ECW. Him versus Taz, even though, it wasn't the world-shattering match that it was built up to be at Barely Legal. I still have a lot of love for that match. Born to be Wired, the ladder match with Sandman, the who was it? Him and Rob Van Dam versus Jinsei Shinzaki and Hayabusa. All of these are like etched into my brain as classics. And what I did this week was, instead of revisiting those, or instead of watching any of his, let's say, diminishing returns of the 2010s, I remember there was a DDT show he was on in like 2018 where I have no idea if it was a similar situation to what, people are talking about now, where they're like, oh, we need to give Sabu drugs to make him wrestle. And they gave him the bad drugs that night. I don't know, but it was Takeshita and two of the guys from All Out, I think Akito and Katsumata maybe, versus Sabu, Kikutaro, and Jun Kasai. And if you locked Kikutaro in the bathroom before the match, it probably would have been great. But like in that match, weirdly, Sabu was the least essential person. He was the least present, which is bizarre to think about because in every Sabu match that's worth remembering, he is the most present. He is the presence that is impossible to ignore. And further proof of that is that I watched a whole bunch of shit from post ECW. I watched a match. Now, Dan, have you ever heard of Major League Wrestling?
It sounds familiar.
It's by this guy Court Bauer. I think he was one of the Mat Rats, and he put on Sabu versus La Parka in 2002. MLW, after Sabu passed, MLW uploaded this to their YouTube account as Sabu versus La Paca. They forgot the R. And it's just, it's a good match. I don't know if it's a great match, but it's a good match. Parka bleeds an insane amount, especially by the standards of skinny 2002 La Parka. And seemingly half the match is built around just finding ways to make the crowd look at how much La Parka is bleeding. He does a lot of selling by just kind of like kneeling in front of the crowd like he's too exhausted to even move. And Sabu lets him do it just to get across how close to death the heroic skeleton man is. You could tell it was a 2002 indie show because they do some mat wrestling to start with, and the crowd in Florida yells boring at them. Like I said, good match, not great. If you like Sabu, if you like La Parka, it's pretty hard to go wrong with it. You're just not going to, if you hype it up in your mind saying like, Sabu versus La Parka, this I need to, it's not on that level. I also watched
Sabu
a bunch
versus
of
La Parka in MLW. That's very
MLW.
In MLW.
But the most of what I watched was from a little promotion called Extreme Pro Wrestling. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. Rob Black, Mr. Zakari. Sabu had a whole bunch of matches for XPW. That's where he jumped from ECW to XPW. And he had some really weird matches. There was one that I watched, which was a three-way with, now you're gonna love this combination. Sabu versus John Cronus versus Big Dick Dudley. Three of the best to ever do it. And this match takes place at some kind of heavy metal music like festival, not a festival, but some kind of showcase. So the band is playing on stage while they wrestle, and then they wrestle towards the stage and are brawling on the stage while the band continues to play. And the commentators, Chris Kloss, points out that the singer of the band is Pogo the Clown's big brother. So just absolutely, and this is, this is post ECW Big Dick Dudley, post ECW John Cronus. So Sabu is definitely the only person in the match who, I don't think anyone in the match was sober, but Sabu's like the only guy who is even close to resembling his physical prime. I also watched another three-way between Sabu, Kid Chaos, and Juventud Guerrera, which I was shocked to discover the only time Sabu and Juvi were ever in the ring together. If they had
Wow.
had a match in the mid-90s, we would still be talking about it today. Like it would be an all-time classic. The Juvi before he went insane and Sabu before his body gave out on him, if you could put them together, it would have been an all-timer match. Unfortunately, what we got was Juvi after he went insane and Sabu as his body was starting to break down, and also Kid Chaos was in the match. What's funny is that both of those matches had the exact same finish, which was Sabu did the top rope Arabian facebuster on someone through a table and got the pin as the third person in the match came within half a second of breaking it up. I don't know if that was a Rob Black thing. I don't know if that was a Sabu thing, but watching a bunch of these matches back to back to back, it really stood out when they just blatantly recycled the finish. One of the other big ones that I watched was Sabu versus Abdullah the Butcher, which, I mean, if you want to talk about bodies breaking down, 2002 Abdullah the Butcher. But they made it work because they just made each other bleed. I mean, at one point, Abby breaks a bottle on the ring post, picks up a big piece of glass, and Sabu was like feeding him his shoulder, and Abby's just cutting him. There's no finish because, of course, there's no finish. It just turns into a bunch of Rob Black's goons running in and attacking, and then other people run in. You know, a huge Pier 6 brawl that somehow Abdullah the Butcher is able to completely disappear from. Which is just kind of like, how does Abdullah the Butcher ever disappear from any scenario that he's in? So I watched a bunch more, but nothing worth really going into. But it's been a very Sabu week for me, and what stood out to me in watching what I think, the canon of Sabu, I think most people would say, is like the ECW stuff, the one night stand match with Rey Mysterio, possibly him versus Sean Waltman in like 1993.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. FMW. Watching the lesser Sabu is honestly just as fun as watching, as there's a certain point where watching lesser Sabu turns into, okay, this is sad when you're watching like Sabu can barely move. But when he could still actually do his signature things, when he could still hit the triple jump moonsault and not look like he was, actively attempting to kill himself, he's just I'm struggling to find the words to describe what it is that I like about watching Sabu. It's not just that he throws his entire body into everything that he does in a completely reckless way. It's that I think it's that he always seems completely engaged in the match, as if he's like, he is so into it that it's very easy to get caught up in it and get into it with him. He's not someone who is clearly thinking about setting up the next sequence, even though he probably was. He's someone who seems to be constantly in the moment, whether that moment is doing, like lucha mat work with La Parca, or whether that moment is, brawling on a stage with Cronus. That is probably the single thing that makes any wrestler most endearing, most what's the word I'm thinking of? It's what connects a wrestler to the fans. Guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, guys like The Rock, guys like Sabu. They all have that special thing where it's like you can lose yourself in the moment because they are losing themselves in the moment, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. And like, yeah, that's the magic of Sabu. Is just like even like his style lends itself to it, but he is one of the like wrestlers that you really believe. Like he makes you believe on a level that no one else can. And like, I mean, Sabu is always a guy like you talk about him as like someone who like had a like a level of kayfabe that like his contemporaries really didn't have, and he like, and beyond that, like he was just always Sabu all the time, and like that's why he's a legend. And that's like, because like you know what you're getting with Sabu, but you don't know what you're getting with Sabu. Because he makes it seem also spontaneous, and like he in this moment decided like this was not a planned finish. He just decided to hurl himself from a platform into multiple tables. Like you just think that he decided to do that right then, and it wasn't like they didn't talk about it 20 minutes ago. It's unbelievable.
I always like to, I heard this Sandman talking about it on podcast. I think other people talk about it. When he would do his punches. If you were wrestling Sabu, the joke was that he would go for a punch sequence, and then all you would hear was sorry because he kept accidentally hitting you for real. And I think that the Sabu style is, even when he's trying to do something in a fake way, he still ends up really hitting you. It's like why hopped up on pills era Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite sellers, because he makes these faces like he's in constant agony, because he's taking insane bumps and just doing somas to cope with it. Honestly, Sabu was probably the exact same thing. He makes you believe that wrestling hurts because when he wrestles, it hurts.
That was my number one thing I want to talk about, like his selling. I'm like, I have no idea how much is he's dying in his matches and how much is he's an amazing seller. Like, I don't know where the line is. And he did always have, like Chris said, like a different level of kayfabe that guys who was there didn't have. That I remember when he did his first RF shoot interview, being like disappointed, like finding out like Santa's not real. You know what I mean? Like all the like shoot interviews, everyone had done them at that point. But like hearing Sabu talk, I was like, ah, damn it.
I think it was also just that his specific voice, like you go 20 years thinking like, he never talks. He probably sounds, he's probably got a voice deeper than mine. He probably sounds like he, eats crushed gravel. And then when he talks, he sounds like a coked up dude calling a Detroit sports radio station.
I do want to correct one thing you say, because you said that he left ECW for XPW. He tried to leave ECW for WCW, where he would have become a millionaire, and Paul Heyman fucked him. Paul Heyman bitched and sent a cease and desist and cost him literally over $1 million. Like, Paul Heyman, a man who didn't pay his employees, is like, no, I don't think you should go there. And then he went to XPW after working like one more ECW shot.
And you're just saying Rob Blackley paid him $999,000.
What?
Rob Black paid him $900,000.
Yeah. Rob Black just couldn't get him quite to the millionaire mark, where WCW would have.
Yeah,
and he would have been there when WWF bought him out. I mean, it's just
that honestly sounds like it in the long run. It might be the reason why Sabu died at 60 instead of at 40.
That's fair enough. Maybe he didn't. You're saying he didn't need to make $450,000 a year.
I'm saying giving Sabu at that point $1 million is a great way to log into 411 Wrestling one day in 2003 and be like, fucking Sabu dies the exact same way as Miss Elizabeth.
Oh man.
God.
I watched something completely. I watched almost exclusively 1994 Sabu because someone had posted that the Wrestling Observer newsletter award results, and he was number 2 in Wrestler of the Year and number 2 of Most Outstanding Wrestler,
Ooh,
getting
love
more
that.
getting more first place votes than the winner, Kenta Kobashi.
Wow, Kenta Kobashi, bitch.
Yeah, and it's just so amazing to think about. I mean, if you, like 1994 Sabu with no TV is getting these accolades, getting flown all over America, getting flown to Japan, and then jumping in Japan from FMW to, because I think it's either the end of 94 or beginning of 95, jumping to the biggest company in Japan, New Japan. Like all this with the only TV he's on is, maybe Philly, maybe New York. I don't know where ECW is in 94, 95. Not very broad.
Speaking of, do we think anyone can beat Sabu for like having actually wrestled at least one match in every major promotion ever to exist?
That's gonna be tough. I know when Chris Daniels retired, people were posting his list, but I mean, like Sabu has basically all of his list and more.
Yeah, because Sabu has years on Daniels. Sabu was, Christopher
I mean,
Daniels
a
was born
decade
anywhere in
basically.
1994. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't think of what's the biggest promotion that Sabu didn't wrestle for in his career.
Well, we know he wrestled for MLW.
I mean, the answer might be something stupid like Dragon Gate, like because he's wrestled for everyone.
Well, I was going to say, did he ever work CMLL?
Yeah, he worked CMLL and AAA.
Okay, so, and he also, I know he worked the Crash because I saw that match. So he got the big three of Mexico.
He got the big three, as we call them.
Now I'm like, but did he work IWRG? And I'm sure he actually did.
Did
But
work
yeah, I saw
GCW, so
he did.
got that one.
He worked
Yeah.
AIW. We know that.
Okay,
He
so
worked
like
CZW.
some real ass promotions here. He did work Dragon Gate in 2012.
Oh, he did. Okay, so I mean, maybe the answer is Ring of Honor.
Sorry, that might be a Dragon Gate USA show. Sorry, it is a Dragon Gate USA show.
That makes sense.
My bad.
But I just mean like every promotion in Japan. I mean, All Japan, New Japan, FMW. Like he worked so much over there, and obviously WCW, WWE, ECW.
Obviously JCW. Yeah.
Yeah, just the big
He
ones.
worked 3 PW.
Like you said, DDT, Michinoku Pro.
I don't think he had a Noah run.
Oh, you know what? Noah's probably the answer then. Yeah, you're right. Of like the biggest promotion during his career that he didn't work in. Which is funny because one of the matches I watched was Too Cold Scorpio because I also watched or listened to a shoot interview he did with Steve Carino during Steve Carino's like old school shoot series that he had like forever ago. And he called Scorpio his favorite opponent from ECW. And it fucking rocked. It was from I only have the date here, but from 94, obviously. And both those guys are like at the tip top of their game. And it was just an amazing match. I watched him versus Chris Candido. Candido had a great match. And I watched him versus Al Snow. Not the ladder match that's like kind of famous, but another match they had that the match was good. Some like, it starts out with like the Sabu Al Snow mat work and then just goes into Al Snow or not Sabu taking stupid bumps. But then at the end, Terry Funk runs in and there's like 6-7 minutes of Terry Funk and Sabu just destroying this community center they're in. And it was fucking amazing. And I truly think that Sabu, like, his matches work best when like from, pre-97 or whatever, like the better video quality get, the worse it is to watch. Like I want to watch Sabu with like on a grainy VHS. I think that captures the essence of him.
Cool.
I'm 100% in agreement. I mean, part of the charm of watching all those old XPW Sabu things is I was watching them on this guy's channel where he uploaded XPW TV taped and then digitized. And I'm like, this is how I want to see wrestling from this era. I don't want to see an AI 1080p upscale of like 3PW or whatever the fuck. It should be lo-fi.
Yeah, I watched a fan cam of him and Damien666 from FMW from '94. But it was fun, and it's like I said, it's a fan cam, so it's shaky and hard to see. And honestly, the highlight of that is he does after the match, he does the table spot where he just moonsaults to a table, to get his heat back. And it just before he goes to the table, he just silences the crowd. He puts his finger to his mouth and makes me quiet, then hits the stupid moonsault, and it's just great shit. Sam, what era of Sabu did you watch?
I try to cover my bases here. So, the thing I like about Sabu is he wrestles occasionally like how I used to play wrestling video games, where he has like 6 moves he's going to hit every single match. But kind of going back to what y'all said about him always feeling like in the moment, most wrestlers have like a structure. They're trying to build to certain spots and things. Sabu will do any of his moves at any given moment in a match that he feels like it. And I think that's beautiful. Like, if he wants to somersault plancha over the top, he's going to do that just because he's on the outside of the ring. If he wants to do the Asai moonsault, he's going to do that. If he wants to chuck a chair, he's going to do that. If he wants to just put a table on the top turnbuckle so he can use that later, great. That's just going to happen at any given moment. Maybe it's right before he actually uses it. Maybe he's going to use it 10 minutes later. It's not a build. It's just, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to use this. Don't know when, but I'm there. I think that's great. I watched the double table match from February 4th, 1995, Public Enemy versus him and Taz. Fun match. The tables they're using are insane and beautiful. They don't break, but not in the like Japanese tables don't break sort of way. The one time Sabu does go through a table, he like breaks through the center of it, which I've never seen happen in a wrestling match. Like, the table stayed standing up, the sides were still intact. He just fell straight through the middle of it. And I still don't understand how that happened. It happened on a swanton bomb from Rocco Rock. It is crazy. But any Sabu match, even ones that I'm like, I don't know if I like really what's going on for 80% of this match. He does things that do just like tickle my brain and make it okay. Like taking that bump through the table like that, I thought was great. The way that he couldn't get Rocco to break through a table in the corner, so he just kept repeatedly chucking him into it until he can get him to go through. Looking real pissed off doing it. It's great. Also, a moment in this match that doesn't really involve Sabu is Johnny Grunge using a frying pan, but the frying pan is still in like a plastic wrap. So I love the idea that they're going to return that after the match. Like, gotta keep it clean. But yeah, whatever.
Imagine if that was the most scummy thing wrestlers did.
Try to
No,
return.
the scummiest thing they do is kratom.
Oh yeah, true.
There in that interview, Sabu talked about how there was like, especially in the Japanese promotions when he first started doing the table spots and stuff, that like he was responsible for finding the tables. Like, they would just send him to like go through these stadiums and just find a table. And then that I saw that right when I was on Facebook, and Jason Kincaid posted his tribute to him, and he said that he saw they were in Japan together, and Sabu was getting a big argument because they wouldn't get him a stronger chair. He's like, I will fall through this.
We have breaking news that we should discuss just for the moment.
Oh God.
For Dean 2, we have announced in a dog collar match, Mad Dog Conley versus Adam Priest.
Oh shit.
It's a pretty fucking good match.
Oh
Pretty
shit.
fucking good match.
Yeah. Okay.
So We got 2.5 matches announced. I'm satisfied. Don't announce anything else. I'm good to go.
I'm pretty sure Jason Kincaid was with Sabu for that DDT show because they were both on that DDT show in 2020.
Yeah, I assumed it was DDT. Or he said that Sabu stopped the argument to come over and dap him up and say hi to him, and that was like a highlight of his career, that Sabu remembered him and felt it was okay to stop yelling at a Japanese man that comes say hi.
I watched Sabu and Taz versus Benoit and Malenko. Again, Benoit, good wrestler, better person. You got me there.
Is Benoit in the Violent People Hall of Fame? I can't remember.
He is not.
Ah, damn. All right. Well, spoiler alert for coming soon.
And fucking Black Terry, our two biggest fucking omissions. Just voters can't be trusted.
Sabu in the Violent People Hall of Fame
for the exact same reason.
Yeah. Yes. But not the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. Is that right?
The Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, there was a referendum, and the fans actually voted to remove Black Terry and keep Chris Benoit.
Oh shit! All right.
Who's to say where Sabu is in that situation?
The fans made it clear they could either vote in Sting or Sabu.
And
then
they chose Sting.
Those Sting. Sons of guns. Those stupid. I'm sorry. I know we got some big Stinger fans in the house. I mean, by in the house, I mean in the Discord. Also on this call, but
it would have ruled if Sabu found God and was in like the religious promotion with Sting. Can you imagine like a born again Christian Sabu gimmick?
I think about all the people that Shawn Michaels converts to Christianity that then get fired from NXT. What a life.
Anyway, I love this match more than I should. Sabu gets carried out of the match by 911, which I think is very funny. Sorry, 911 carries Taz out of the match, which I think is very funny. And then Sabu's kind of comeback in the match is him just doing 1,000 flips over the ropes, dives aplenty, and just going bananas. Every other beat of the match at that point is just Sabu doing a dive of some sort for like 3 minutes straight. No selling between these dives. It is just back in the ring. And then Malenko and Benoit just getting in different positions around ringside for him to jump in. Whether that's them separated in the opposite sides, whether it be on the left and the top end, whether it be on the same side, and he's diving on both. It's just wacky, wild, fun. I do think it's wild how Sabu sets the table up on the corner so that Benoit can power bomb off it. It looks sick. It's beautiful. I love it. Watched him versus Hack Myers from 95. I was going through the cage match and I was like, why does he leave ECW for like 8 months? And that is the New Japan touring, that he's just gone doing that for most of the year.
Fuck Sabu.
Fuck Sabu. I'm trying to watch him in ECW. I unfortunately do think Hack Myers looks cooler than Sabu in this match. Do me. Sabu was this big surprise on the pay-per-view. Pretty fun. A WWE Vault put up Sabu versus Scott Taylor from a dark match from a Raw taping in 93. Scott Taylor, not very good at this whole thing. But Sabu.
Did you watch his AEW thing where he revealed that he had like no wrestling training?
No, I did not.
He just showed up and was like, wrestle.
Well, that's actually the most wrestler thing ever.
Yeah, it's like the only people I can think of who did that are Him and fucking Doc Gallows, who just like Doc Gallows is like 16 years old, just walks backstage, and they're just like, "Oh, this 6'5" kid belongs here."
Yeah, I think it cannot be overstated how much Scotty 2 Hottie does not look like a pro wrestler next to Sabu. He does look like someone who just walked off the street, and that should have been turned away. But Sabu is Sabuing, even if it's just kind of in little sprinkles in that match. But Scott Taylor should not have been near a wrestling ring at that point. Not great. Not great. But interesting to see kind of that little match where Sabu was not getting wildly cheered for in front of the Madison Square Garden faithful. And then the match that is the best match I watched in a while. That I know I watched years ago, but haven't watched in some time. Sabu versus The Big Show from WWE ECW. That match is great. Everyone should watch it if you haven't watched it. The Big Show ECW title run is one of the funnest things, period, in wrestling. He just murders Sabu for most of this match, like stamping out the legacy of ECW throughout. Sabu taking nutty bumps left, right, and center is incredible. And then Sabu's actual comeback is a ton of fun before he gets absolutely fucking throttled with a chokeslam through the table, being caught on a dive to do it. Big Show is a big dude, and you truly feel it in that match in a way you don't always feel in other matches. When he's wrestling just like the prototypical WWE wrestlers. It's fucking good. I was shocked to myself. I was like, oh yeah, we're in it. We're in the thick of it here. Pro wrestling can be good. A thought I have not had in probably a month.
Man, you
I
should
don't know what
have.
made me think about. I saw something where Sabu was talking about his time in WECW, and him and CM Punk were doing something with Test, and Test just refused to sell for CM Punk. And they asked CM Punk, asked him why. He said, "Because I'm 6'7" or whatever." And that fucking rules.
See, that was an interesting clip to watch this week of all weeks, because Sabu was talking about how not just how, also why he doesn't care that Andrew Martin died.
Yes.
Where he kind of goes into a thing about, someone dies and everyone wants to make him a saint, but if he wasn't a saint when he was alive, then you should just remember him as the sinner. And honestly, I think that was a better eulogy that he wrote for himself off the cuff than any other wrestler has been able to post online.
Listening to that interview with him and Carino, it's really funny because he's just so matter of fact about so much stuff. Like Carino's like, I thought you hated me, but you never spoke to me. And then after ECW, I want to say in Canada, they had a couple matches, and Carino's NWA champ, and Sabu wouldn't put him over. He wouldn't lose. And then like years later in Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon's like, we're gonna bring in Sabu, and Carino's like, are you gonna take the belt off me? And he's like, no, you're gonna go over Sabu. And he's like, Sabu hates me, he won't put me over. And then Sabu came and put him over. He's like, well, and Sabu was like, oh, I always liked you. He's like, well, why didn't you let me win? He's like, I don't know, didn't want to. Like, he had no motivation. He's just like, didn't want to lose.
Who does? Who the heck does?
As we've been talking, I've been watching a three-way match in Canada featuring Mr. Sabu, Mr. Alan James Styles, and Mr. Theodore Hart.
Hell yeah.
And, what a combination of human beings.
Anyway.
TNA posted all of the early NWA TNA Sabu stuff, and I got to get around to watching that because I remember him being.
I need to rewatch the submission ladder match.
Yeah, I remember him being a highlight of those early shows, and I gotta see if that holds up. But I did watch the Abyss Barbed Wire Mayhem, whatever. What do they call it? I don't remember what TNA calls it.
Barbed
Barbed
Wire
Wire
Fire
match.
Massacre.
Massacre. Sorry.
Oh,
And that
love
ruled.
that match.
Yeah.
Love that match. I remember getting it on the TNA Best of the Bloodiest Brawls, whatever
Um,
DVD, and blew my mind. I was like, yeah, this is real professional wrestling, baby. We're doing it right here in total nonstop action.
The awesome thing about Sabu and TNA is like even if you do a montage of like all of Sabu's TNA moments, there's like 6 months between every match minimum. Because he would like come in, do a title match against Ken Shamrock and then just wander off. Like not even because he's touring New Japan. He's just working like Major League Wrestling and like fucking Epic and the WWA and stuff. Like he just was just like, all right, I did my match, peace. And then they would bring him back in when they needed the Sabu bump.
So after I this is gonna segue us out of Sabu, I guess. Last week, Chris revealed that he was gonna be in Chicago, and I tried to get him press passes, and Court Bauer did not reply, but
What a
did sign me up
fucker.
for the MLW newsletter. Like I now
That could be
daily
real.
get MLW emails, and I never have before.
That's pretty cool.
So right after I did that, I saw that WWE SmackDown was going to be in Lexington, which is like an hour and a half or 2 hours away, somewhere in June. So I'm like, let me go ahead and get myself some press passes too. WWE replies to me, but Court doesn't. Here it is. Hello, Dan. This request was passed along to WWE and was kindly declined. Thank you. So there we go.
Oh, you can't
Right.
get comps for shit in WWE anymore.
No, I know, but I was just in the email sending mood.
But yeah, it was worth a shot. But yeah,
Yeah.
they don't give like actual media comps anymore.
I don't know
or
what you
like
mean by
wrestlers'
that.
families.
Don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, I used to always get free tickets from someone who remained unnamed, and that stopped like about 2 years ago. He said no can do anymore.
I mean,
All
the only reason to contact WWE like press corps is just to try and finagle the big Desert Island comps with Brindley Reese. Like other than that, what good is any of it?
You're gonna
So
ask us
true.
some cute. We have no soundboard, so it's just more.
Anyway, we have a slew of questions for Q&AR. Let's get into it. Pork, do you think the site has too many podcasts now? No, I think there should be more.
Wholeheartedly agree.
We should be able to fill up someone's entire 40-hour work week with our nattering.
Even if I didn't agree, I wouldn't admit it because what if they all say there's too many? Get rid of VPR. Can't risk it.
Very fair
I'd like
point.
to see them fucking try.
Take it from our cold dead hands.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Trim Biscuit 420. What is the best bit from the show, and what is the worst one?
The best one is Sam pretending not to know who Jasmine St. Clair is.
No, that's the worst bit. We respect
No,
Jasmine
the
St. Clair.
worst bit is the Celtics keep losing.
Wait a second.
That
Are you
is
guys doing
the bit I
bits on here?
Are you doing bits?
No, I'm always shooting.
All right.
Worst bit, hot dogs.
Best bit?
Ah,
Hot dogs.
all tied for first. Everything else, all tied for first.
I think of the bits from before my time on the show, my favorite was the distinction between Noah and Limit Break.
They are separate
That's good.
promotions.
I got pretty riled up about that. I'm not gonna lie. That was also not a bit. I was riled.
I mean, yeah. The best bits are the ones that then boil over into actual emotion.
The best bit is once every 4 episodes where Sam makes me actually upset.
That is a good bit.
Yeah, where Dan says something like personally hurtful to me.
Shut the
And I have to not say anything and just stay quiet and like let the show keep going here because like it'd be bad audio to acknowledge Dan being really rude to a co-host.
I can't think of one example of that.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
wild.
Yeah, people leaving the show, Dan. Let's pump the
People
brakes.
or person?
Who's to say?
Yeah.
Nick Yaman. Who would be the best wrestler to book in a he's all that scenario where they are bought in as a massive nerd, but the big reveal is they are conventionally very attractive person that has just been wearing glasses.
I mean, they already did that with Abyss and Joseph Park, didn't they?
So fucking real. So real.
Oh, but the other answer is definitely Kane.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I'd do that with Hulk Hogan. Now I saw that picture today. He's looking pretty good.
Oh man,
so-
he is so close to death, and I cannot wait. Fucking get him out of here.
He looks phenomenal. Probably the best he's looked since '84.
He looks like, the person at this tanning salon is setting the sun bed to like a specific setting that just says elder abuse.
All right, Dan.
I think all wrestlers are attractive.
All right. Interesting. My answer, Mike Quackenbush. Next up, Jade. In honor of the 50th episode of VPR, if you had to cut out one of your fellow hosts' kidneys open in order to obtain a key, which one would it be? Dan?
And probably you
Asking
now.
and my answer.
I mean, you hurt my feelings. So I'm getting that key.
I mean, if I cut all three of you open, I get 3 keys, and I'm pretty much fucking unstoppable. I'd like to see any fucking puny lock keep me out.
This brings up. This is not a question that was on the board, but my sister did ask me a question earlier today. I didn't know how to answer. She said, I think I can guess each of your answers. Who's the most popular host of this show?
It's gotta be Sam, right?
No.
I thought you would all pick yourself.
Sam-
I actually
Sam-
picked.
Sam's kinda-
I said Chris, but
I'm thinking Sam is like the Sabu of this show. He's
I don't know what
worked
that
every
means.
territory. He's been in every single wrestling intelligentsia discussion group.
yeah, but
he
he's
learned
got
a lot
enemies,
about-
enemies in each one of them.
Well, only because
It's just
he
Tanner over and
only
over
took
again.
the stance that ditch guy's politics were actually right. Or was it no? Who was it who turned out to be a fucking?
I mean, it's
right
Ditch
one?
and Parv.
Ditch.
I don't know who you're talking
Okay.
about.
Ditch is
Anyways,
the one.
Sam sided with them over vaccinations and masks. So, Sam's kind of on the outs with a lot of people right now. But the important thing is that he was there.
You gotta be in the room. You got to be in the room. All right. Next up. All right. Actually, they got a lot of people just fucking talking when they're not supposed to. They're supposed to be asking questions.
Fucking idiots.
Viacciano, 38. Which wrestling promotion would be John Locke's favorite one? Question for the group. Who is John Locke?
That's
The famous
area
character
point
from Lost.
I thought you watched Lost.
No, never. I watched 3 episodes.
Well,
They
he's
didn't
in the
leave
first
the
3
impression.
episodes.
Yeah, I hear you.
The same actor also played the stepfather in the movie The Stepfather, if that helps you out.
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha.
I'm
John
trying to
Locke
bring things into like movies that are on Shudder.
Anyway, Stepfather, very good movie, folks. Everyone to go watch that. Yeah, it's very good. Some great makeup in it. I was like, is that the same person? It's the same person. Anyway, sorry. I don't know his character
favorite
arc.
would be bar wrestling.
Oh shit. Joey Ryan posted a Sabu tribute on Twitter.
Oh man,
That was sweet. See, he's like a thinker. He's an intelligent man. So he's probably Chikara.
He's also a man of faith.
True.
you know, I kind of think that his favorite wrestler would be Shawn Michaels because they both came back from crippling back injuries.
Oh, very true.
Like, so he would be really into like post 2002 Shawn Michaels, the period of Shawn Michaels that I think our listenership universally loves.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
He wouldn't
Next.
watch any damn wrestling. He's on an island.
Boom, got him.
Oh no, that would mean his favorite thing is the fucking Inoki Island death match.
It's the only way off. All right. Next question from Tim. 50 episodes, 50 hot dogs? No.
No.
That's too many hot dogs. That's
Dan, what thoughts?
Thoughts on that?
Yep.
That's too many hot dogs.
Too many hot dogs.
Well,
Maryland.
that's like
I actually found a new
smoking
hot dog
50
spot,
cigarettes
so.
and calling it a meal.
Folks, I'm not going to engage in the hot dog talk beyond that point. We need to move on to Maryland's question. Which deathmatch star would be the most likely to survive a jigsaw game?
John Zandig.
No, Zandig would get himself killed. Zandig would be like the guy who like survives one trap and then gets killed by the second trap when he gets overconfident. I honestly think it's Tremont.
I think it is Abdullah Kobayashi.
You gotta be smart to escape a saw trap. You've got to have a lot of knowledge, like technical ability, dexterity. So you gotta go Masada. he's like the true thinking man's death match wrestler.
Masada, you know, the survivor of the fucking lighter and beard trap from Saw 6.
He does mat work.
He does mat work. Next
Honestly,
question.
Masada lighting his own head on fire is probably the closest we've seen to a wrestler surviving a saw trap.
That's fair. Next question from Mondo. To follow that, which deathmatch star would be the most likely to host a jigsaw game? Any takers?
I
mean, this is where I'm going.
Drake Younger, and there's a Jesus-y twist to it.
Oh, I love that. Like
that's
the
good
the
one.
Christian haunted houses.
Like the Christian Saw ripoff, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Redeemer, the Reconciler.
No, it would be like when Jigsaw would get mad at his health insurance company, so like all the insurance people would end up in the Saw house. It's just that Drake would be on the video thing telling everyone that he's doing this to like save all the children and, you know, rid the world of pedophiles, and all the people he's accusing of being pedophiles are just like random people from throughout his day that he earnestly believes are part of some sort of conspiracy.
They are a bunch of various pizzeria employees.
Yeah, it's just like he saw someone who might be Dominican and mistook them for Al Qaeda.
All right. Perfect. Pork. Do you resent how much Saw gets talked about on the podcast? No, not one bit. It is one of America's great movie franchises. Move aside Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel, you broke ass motherfuckers.
There is a lot less Saw in the universe than there is professional wrestling, and yet I still think I have more things to say about Saw than I do about wrestling. So what does that tell you?
Ain't that the truth? Yeah,
I don't
What about
resent
Saw
anything on
Boo?
the
Is that
podcast.
anything?
Saw what?
Saw Boo?
It's
I
something.
can't think of a bit to go with that. I'm just like, okay, that's there's got to be something there.
We'll workshop it.
The triple jump death trap. Actually, the Arabian
Silent
face
Post.
does sound like a jigsaw trap.
Yeah, it does.
Man, that move must have sucked to take, because when he does it to someone on a table, there's like no way to like roll with it or kind of like get your like shoulder. It just looks like it fucking sucks ass to take that move.
All right. From Tanner. In celebration of hot dog season, if one condiment could never be on a dog again, which one would you choose and why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
In celebration of hot dog season, if one condiment could never be on a dog again, which
I just
one?
wanted to, you were so bitchy about hot dog talk. I just wanted to ask about hot dog.
Got him.
Of like
Man,
of like
hate
the
it,
normal
fucking hate
hot
it.
dog toppings, I'm not a relish guy. Just don't like it.
I'm gonna say relish too.
I'm going with
Relish.
I don't know how many people will agree with me on this one, but I'm gonna say mustard. I could
Oh,
do
you gotta
without.
have mustard.
I think people will
No.
disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm gonna be on an island for that.
I'm not like
I'm not a mustard man.
I'm not like one of those vehemently anti-ketchup on a dog guys. But like I don't put ketchup on my dog usually. So it can go. As long as I can I still have it on my fries?
Yeah, I don't think you're getting it from the
Unfortunately, the
universe.
fries are in the bun with the hot dog. So
Ooh.
Oh
Oof.
shit.
it's one of those weird things.
But yeah, I need my mustard. I need like I don't relish isn't an every time thing, but it's a nice little treat sometimes.
Okay. I don't think you're right, but to each their own. Eamon, which wrestler would you most like to die on your birthday?
I know which one I would least like. Sabu. It happened. It was sad.
So he could live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm-
speak for everyone listening to the show and say Adam Priest.
Oh, I was gonna say Mad Dog Connolly.
It
No,
actually
I
was a
mean-
funny bit where I was like, "Oh man," well, my whole family was I go, "Oh man, Sabu's dead." But then every member of my family got like temporarily deaf, and like everyone kept asking me to repeat it. Who? What? Who? I said it so many times. I'm like, I don't want to say it anymore.
funny joke.
Like I probably had to say it like for like 7 times. I was like, "Guys, Sabu's dead. No one knows who he is. It's fine."
All
My
right.
brother, I was talking about with my brother. My brother mostly knows Sabu from Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know how you know Sabu from Dark Side of the Ring more than his actual wrestling, but somehow my brother ended up. He does not watch wrestling, but he watched every episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
That is very
Really
funny.
not sure how that one happens.
Is there like a Sheik or Sabu episode airing this week? Is it Sheik? That's
Good
one of the
question.
two, which is
I
like
don't
crazy timing.
pay attention.
I know
much.
one of the upcoming ones is about the 2012 Royal Rumble.
Timely, pretty timely. Santito, because he's old and should stop wrestling. And there we go.
I mean, I feel like it's the obvious answer, but if Vince died on my birthday, it would be the greatest birthday ever.
It would be a good one. Pat, did you have any? Oh, you called out, yeah, priest. Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
If-
Cole,
Yeah, no, I mean, the obviously the ones that should all die are the wrestlers that everyone loves, so that they then become immortal. They become etched into the cultural memory at the peak of their powers. And we don't have to see 56-year-old Adam Priest working a senior scramble someday.
so true. So true.
In many ways, I'm a hero for suggesting him.
Not wrong. Not wrong. All right. Cole, favorite Scream sequel?
I feel
Scary
woefully
Movie one.
undermanned here. I feel like you guys are more expert on this than me, but is it just Scream 2?
Scream 4. Scream 4.
Scream 4 is the only one I haven't seen.
Oh, so good.
I kind of have a soft spot for Scream 3.
I like Scream 3 more than most people, it feels like.
Yeah, it is. It really feels like Wes Craven does not give a shit. And it's great. And that, like, your buddies Jay and Silent Bob show up.
Hell
What more could you ask for? And it is not any of either of the recent two. Those movies are not
I stand
great.
by saying Scary Movie 1. But
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. And last and least, Haven, favorite Halloween sequel.
This one is actually crazy because I know, but I have not seen any Halloweens past the John Carpenter original.
I thought you were about to
That's
say you haven't seen the
wild.
original, and I was gonna freak out.
No, but
I
I've
will say-
never
Mhm.
never seen 3, which I know a lot of people love 3.
I was gonna say my pick is 3.
3 might as well not be a Halloween movie, though. I mean,
Favorite.
it's
no,
just
do you want to do favorite Michael Myers sequel?
well, yeah. I mean, because if you're talking about a franchise that's like 12 Michael Myers movies and then one movie that's about an evil warlock turning kids' brains into bugs with a TV ad, I don't know. It just feels like it's a little too far out.
I just think all of the other ones are not very good. Like I'm not a big Halloween.
That's
2.
also correct. The correct answer is some of them have moments.
It's very fair.
I do, I think it was I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 where they had written into the script like a whole like Terminator style thing of like Michael Myers fucking mowing down an entire police station as they try to stop him. And it did not make it into the movie. And that would have made whichever one that would have made it my favorite if they had filmed that.
Yeah, as someone who hasn't seen any of these, I'm going to say the one with LL Cool J in it. I don't know which one.
H2O?
H2O.
H2O.
I wasn't sure which one it was, but
It was LL Cool J, Jamie Lee Curtis.
I got in
who
trouble
else?
because I lost H2O from the video store. We had to pay for it.
Oh man.
Wow.
So that one
What a
sticks out in my
shitty
mind.
You are, Dan.
Yeah. I was like 10. I didn't hate with the first of the newest ones.
Yeah, that one was actually all right. I mean, I don't know if I would call it. It's like that Sabu Barca match. I wouldn't call it a great movie, but it was perfectly fine.
Now I haven't watched either of the ones that came after that, so obviously it wasn't good enough to make me want to keep up with Halloween. But
I mean, you're
I
not
think
missing
both of
much.
those movies are terrible.
well, there's 3 of them, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first one
Oh.
I like. I like.
Oh, okay.
Fun
But
playing
Halloween
the hit.
Kills and Ends, those are bad.
Those are bad.
Though
I know people say
it's
it's actually great. It's such a subversion of, and I'm like, fuck you. It sucks. It's not good. Stop lying to yourself.
it is possibly a bad omen that that movie begins with Michael Myers returning to murder specifically because of podcasters.
It's true. It's true. That's all the questions we have this week, folks. So that's it. Episode 50.
I've got a question.
Oh,
Is not an official question, perhaps.
okay.
Do you guys, and this is to settle something in an unrelated discussion outside of the VPR realm. Do you guys think that Io Sky and Denise Salcedo look alike?
Do I think they look alike? Is that the question?
Do you think that they look exactly like one another? They might as well be twins.
I have no idea.
I'm pulling up a picture of Denise real fast.
Yeah,
here.
can you send pictures of them into the founder chat? I don't want to have to look this up.
Someone saying this is maybe the most effective troll I've ever seen in my life.
I do not think these
years
women
of
are
being on the
twins.
internet.
I do not see it.
The insisting that they look exactly alike it's like finding out that someone has invented germ warfare for trolling.
They both
It's-
are women with dark hair. I will give you that.
And what else do you need?
I needed this documented as part of the historical record that is this podcast.
Now, are either of these women, are these
Ever
guys pro
happens.
wrestlers? Never heard of
What's
these
that?
people. Are either of these people pro wrestlers? Never heard of them.
Io Sky is.
Okay.
Denise Salcedo is just a YouTube weirdo.
So that's episode 50. This is our 1-year anniversary
50.
as well. After this, it makes sense to put it after, I think. Will be just like clips of some of our best bits here on Violent People Radio. I don't know if it'll be
Well,
funny or
gentlemen,
After this, the show's over.
not just for
Sam
that. I'm
had a-
putting it at the front of the show.
Sam had a 1-year contract, and he's out.
I'm deleting the website and turning off the podcast feeds. So I hope you enjoyed it while we had it. Excited for you to tune into my next podcast.
well, I'm very much excited for We Don't Know MLW, but I just want to say that, gentlemen, thank you for letting me be your silver medal on this podcast. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
letting me be the second best option you could have had for a co-host.
We tried getting Cole, but he just wouldn't show up.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
yeah, he thinks
famously
he was
does
our
not
first
show up.
choice. Oh,
Cole famously not available to record.
Well, that actually
Any
bumps me
day
down
of the
the
week.
street because you wanted Cole, then you got Tanner, and then you got me when Tanner went to fucking prison or whatever.
You're the first choice of my heart. You're the first choice of my heart.
Oh well, thank you. It's very sweet that 50 episodes in you're still lying to me, but
This is not a podcast based on trust and truth. Lies.
now that's a tagline. That's not a podcast based on trust and truth.
Oh man.
you guys, the Cavs lost. I like it. I feel like Sam probably has like I know for a fact that he has like set Saul thoughts, so I like him not being here. I'm gonna say his favorites too. And I
That's
don't
a
know if
bad
that's bad.
pick.
I think it's a bad one, so I don't know for though. But
It's boring. Saw 2 is kind of mid.
I have watched at least the
Isn't
first
3 the
three,
good,
but I don't
like,
remember.
the good one?
I've heard 1 was a good one. Because
Well, I
1
mean,
feels like
one-
not a
Yeah,
Saw
Ezekiel Jackson says 1.
Yeah, but like, isn't 3 the one where like people who are invested in the Saw lore, they're like, okay, that's the one that's actually good, and the rest it's kind of like a Hellraiser 6 situation.
So Saw 2 has like an interesting concept with it's got like it's like a house of horrors, but like the traps are kind of hit and miss. But it's like fine. Saw 3 sucks.
Saw 2 has
Okay,
the
I don't know which
gnarliest,
one I'm thinking of then.
Uh,
can name
Saw
the
gnarliest
numbers
trap
straight.
for me.
4 is pretty good. Saw 6 is pretty good. Saw 5 sucks.
The new one,
s-
like from like a year ago, was pretty good. Where it's like the first half is just a normal movie, like story, and then it goes into the sawing off legs and shit. I don't
It
know.
would be awesome if it was just like a romantic drama about like a couple, and then like the fucking puppet just like wheels in at the 40-minute mark.
Love Billy the Puppet.
See, Chris, you're a movie guy, so I have no problem with you having Saw thoughts. But then like we find out that like Sam's never watched like a Coppola movie, but I think has seen all those Saw movies, and I think there's something wrong with that. I think there's something actually wrong with that.
I think watching Saw movies is as close as you can get to seeing a Hollywood version of Tournament of Death or the Carnage Cup, so I think that fits.
I guess it
Yeah.
does fit with the kind of wrestling we're bringing to the table.
I just like
Uh.
the idea of Saw thoughts. Yeah, this guy's got Saw thoughts.
Oh yeah,
This guy's got
I
Saw
got
thoughts.
a couple Saw thoughts.
I'm saying this is a guy who's like
I've got a
his
lot
whole-
of Saw thoughts.
His whole family's got
What's-
really into Terrifier
sounds like a
movies. So what do
podcast.
I know?
Once we get the Patreon or the Fansly or whatever going, that'll be the premium podcast, Saw Thoughts.
Saw.
We'll get like Bobby Beverly on to, talk about his favorite Saw.
Friend of the show.
Oh, you like any deathmatch wrestler, they've got Saw thoughts.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We could keep that fucking train going just by like, hey, Dr. Redacted, you want to make $30 and not have to get CTE?
Yeah, and there's so much you can talk about: your favorite movie, your least favorite movie, your favorite traps.
The Patreon better be popping off if we got $30 to spend on Saw thoughts.
We will be
That seems like a
bankrupt.
steep price.
I feel like Thumbtack Jack is like a joke / meeting of the minds there to get Saw thoughts.
We need to get Thumbtack Jack and Sam in conversation.
We got to do it. We got that's $30 tier. I love it.
We'll run the fundraiser
$30.
at $1,000. We'll live stream their debate on Twitch.
It's like we were gonna do a fundraiser for charity, but instead we give us $30. Listen to Sam and Thumbtack Jack. Please,
I mean, it worked.
that money
Someone
goes
would do
straight.
it.
To Jack.
I'd
It
That's
goes
still
charity
give
straight
you
to Jack.
$30.
The problem is people that would give $30 work for the site.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my-
it'd be like when I used to work at a comic book store, and it's like, okay, how much, like I can't just buy comic books. Anyway, so
I don't know why that
Speaking
killed
of,
us all dead. We're all like really taking that in. We're like, okay, all right, okay.
well, it's true. I mean, I wasn't making much money. I was working at a comic book store.
That's fair.
But speaking of thoughts on viewing experiences, you guys watched any wrestling this week? Because I didn't really, so I'm counting on you all to carry.
Uh-oh.
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 Oh, I watched all 10 Saw movies instead. I was not prepared for this.
I thought this was Saw thoughts. I'm on the wrong podcast.
The wrestling bullshit, that's on the free tier, I'm pretty sure. Anyone can listen to that.
Dan, I have to know why you sent me Goldberg versus Triple H versus Kane. Why do you hate me?
I want you to know what I did was I went to Triple H's cage match. I went to matches, and I tried to find anything that was exactly 20 minutes, but the only thing I found was a DX versus Legacy match, which I'm sure is horrible, but for some reason had good reviews, and I went, well, can't do that.
Which one was it?
I don't know.
Submissions Count Anywhere match was good.
Okay, well, good. So I didn't send that one. So then I went and I looked through any match that was over 19 minutes, and the first one that came up was Evolution versus Shield. That match I remember ruling. So the next one that came up was this match, which I knew could not have ruled, and you lost. And when you lose, you deserve to be punished.
Damn.
And look,
Yeah,
Sam gave you something he liked, and you told him it sucked. So I'm just protecting myself from that reality.
Yeah. Well, you gave me something that sucked, and I'll tell you something way worse. I hope you die.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Oh my god.
All right.
This match fucking blows.
That's fucking crazy.
It's only 19 and a
This
half
is a-
minutes.
This is 2003 Triple H and recently unmasked Kane and Goldberg, and you go like, oh yeah, Goldberg, he's like a great wrestler, he's fun. Chris, you love Goldberg. He's one of your he's one of your guys, he's one of your favorites. This is the worst era of Goldberg in a triple threat match against two guys who are going to just like in a structure of match that I hate triple threats. And they're just going to be like, Goldberg is going to have to sell for a significant chunk of the match, and he's going to have to sell for specifically Triple H and Kane beating him up, and that fucking sucks. And so you do get some cool Goldberg shit, and that's easily like the crowd's into this, especially at the start of the match when Goldberg is doing cool shit. But God, it feels like so much of this match is just wrestled in molasses. This is.
I believe you got on the Discord and said that you hate Dan Rice a lot of times.
Yeah,
He just said he wants you to die.
He did say that. Yeah, that's recorded on my computer now.
Chris said he's gonna shoot you with a gun for real style.
Oh shit. On Cage Match here, there was, I don't remember the show at all, but there was also a Booker T versus Mark Henry match, which is almost the same rating, and that seems racist. There's no way Booker T and Mark Henry for 9 minutes isn't so much better than this match.
Yeah, this match is garbage.
Which
So
is
is
saying
Uncle
this-
Money match the
this
best
is-
match that you watched?
No, it's still easily the
It's
Two
this one.
Cold Scorpio
Oh.
Wardell Walker match.
Okay, I'll let that slide.
And this match is easily the worst. This is like peak of bad early 2000s WWE wrestling. This is peak bad Triple H winning a fucking title, going over Goldberg in his worst era. Kane fucking sucks. Just slow plotting, feels way longer than 19 and a half minutes. I despised every waking moment I watched this match.
Now, I hate to even walk it back at all because you did say you want me to die, but I do think maybe I took the game aspect of it too seriously. Like, I wanted to punish. I was like, well, he has to have the worst match possible that I could think of that's also very, very long, and that's what I came up with.
Chris,
Yeah,
just know I would never punish you.
I do kind of respect it. I do, in a way, respect it. With 34 ballots, the sixth person inducted into the Violent People Hall of Fame.
God damn
Let's not get this audio taken down like our Twitch. It's John Cena. It's a Tanner pick.
Listen, you gotta appeal to the freaks. They know ball.
Appealing to the normies.
No, you gotta know ball.
The the most famous wrestler of the last 20 years.
Yeah, well, listen. Also, the third best overall on this list. So
You're fucking insane.
I hate it.
Is this now? I assume this is what you're mad at me about, right, Sam?
No.
Oh,
no, I think I know what Sam's mad at you about, but I'm going to be mad at Sam for being mad at you about it.
oh man, I was sure it was this because I know that I did it to us. I know that I shouldn't have made a big deal about John Cena. It's just
But
such
here's the
a
thing.
dumb pick.
Here's the thing, Dan. I don't think you did because we had a lot of people vote before they even listened to the episode, and Cena was getting votes extremely early. So I don't think
I'm
it
looking at he's
was-
on a lot of these early ballots. You're right.
I don't think it was an anti-you agenda, but I mean,
It was just dumbasses.
again,
Like, plain
a
simple.
violent.
The listeners are dumb. Exactly. We wanted violent people representing. You know what? If 3 out of the 4 founders say not it, feels like enough to say not it.
Maybe you three don't know ball. I don't know. Obviously not. He finished 6th, and it wasn't even. I mean, it's not even close. He has never, from the first day of ballots, was never even possible that he would drop out of the top 10. People know ball. All
I
gotta say.
disagree. I disagree.
It's just so funny to see the person below him.
Yeah, the person below him. My first pick from the draft, my first pick that I made in the draft, and my first that I've had represented, 7th person in the Hall of Fame, Antonio Inoki. 33 ballots, 1 behind John Cena.
That's so good. That's
Antonio
so fucking good.
Inoki.
I mean, Cena is. I mean, listen, Antonio Inoki couldn't have had that match with Umaga, but Cena could have wrestled.
He could have.
No,
I think we've had a lot of evidence that he could have
No.
very well had that.
No,
match
Inoki
with
couldn't.
Umaga.
Inoki couldn't have had that match with Umaga, but Cena could have had the squash with Vader. I'll leave it at that.
When you say it like that, I think they're very similar wrestlers in a lot of ways.
Honestly, Cena and Inoki.
When you
are.
say that, I'm like, no, they very well both could have done those matches. Like,
I
feel
don't think Inoki
confident.
Inoki couldn't have got that match out of Umaga.
You're
I
nuts.
so vehemently disagree, and it's a real not supposed to be a slight to Cena even, but like that's where Inoki's skill set is really like.
You think
Primed
Inoki's?
for.
You think Inoki's skill set is in a last man standing match?
I think Inoki's skill set is great against a monster. I think like that's where he really shines in a lot of cases against like almost an outside entity.
Sure. I don't think the Rumble match would have been. The Rumble match couldn't have been that. Maybe the New Year's Revolution match could have been that, but not the Rumble match.
He's, you know, I don't even have the energy. I'm sorry.
You know, I never thought about it, but like very clearly, the most similar wrestler John Cena of these 20 is Inoki.
Yeah, 100%.
I would never have thought about that until you said that. I'm like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, once Tanner starts saying it, like Cena could have had the Vader's crush, I was like, you know what? Inoki definitely could have done the Lesnar match. Any
Well,
of them.
sure. That's because the Lesnar match and the Vader match are the same match.
I don't know if you're doing a bit now.
Let
or if you're
me
just making my point.
know. Let me know when John Cena fights Muhammad Ali.
Hey, let me know when John Cena's dead.
Oh fuck.
That's one step above Inoki he got. Alive. Thriving.
Is Inoki dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to sound like a wimp. It's gonna be tough for me to eat 70 hot dogs of any variety.
Well,
Just
you
gonna
know.
lay it on the line, guys. I'm
How
not that
many-
good.
Okay, 10 minutes. How many hot dogs do you think you can eat? Like, this is the question. This is how I frame it to my wife. If you got $100 per hot dog, how many hot dogs do you think you could eat without stopping? $100 per dog.
In how long a period? Or just endlessly?
I mean, just say endlessly, but like you have to eat them back to back. Like you can't throw up. You can't like take a lap.
Buns and all? Or just hot dog?
Yeah, buns and weenies.
All right. I think I could get to $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I
But-
feel like it's a good number.
I thought you were going to say 1,000 hot dogs.
No.
I was like, God damn.
I think I could
okay.
get the world record.
Can I?
Back in the day, I used to go nuts at Dollar Dog Night, like when I was going to Indians games, and I
Yeah.
know that back then I would eat 7-8 hot dogs in a baseball game, but I can't
Yeah.
eat like that period now. But I still think money on the line. I might try for 10.
Can I use PEDs? Can I like smoke a? Can I smoke a bowl beforehand?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Then I'm gonna say I can do like 12.
Okay. So she thinks I'm crazy. My answer is 25.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
That's a
That's
lot of hot dogs.
I also don't really like hot dogs, but for
You're not eating
100
25 hot dogs.
You're
You're
not
not
eat-
You
for
don't like hot
$100?
dogs. You don't like hot dogs.
I'm
You're
never in the
eating
mood for
25
hot
of them?
dogs. For $100 a piece, there's not much of anything I wouldn't eat for $100 a piece.
With the bun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of carbs.
What, buddy? I'm
I mean, the
$2,500
buns
richer.
are what? The buns
You
are
think
what
I'm
kills
worried about carbs?
I'm not saying that you're worried about carbs. I'm just saying that like those are gonna start like real quick
Mm,
sitting.
Yeah, but you could do the method. They dip it in like the water or the fruit punch. I could just make like a bread slurry, quickly gulp down 25 weenies, and then just drink 25 buns.
I don't want to get too deep into finances, but Tanner is a homeowner going to Disney this year, and he's like, I need $100 a dog bad.
No, I need $2,500 for this Disney World trip. No, absolutely. They've
It just like I know you're not on the poverty line. Like you're doing okay, and like you're eating these hot dogs.
yeah, dude, $2,500. I'm trying to buy a PC this year. I did say something last week on the podcast. I'm surprised I didn't get more flack for. We were talking at the beginning of last week's show about, and Sam, I want to get your thoughts on this. How many hot dogs do you think you could eat in one sitting if you got $100 per dog? Sam, real quick, how many do you think you could put down?
How long we got? Just unlimited time?
And just like one sitting, but like you have to be reasonable about it. Like if you stop for too long, like you're out.
All right, are these like jumbo dogs? These just regular dogs.
They're just they're regular dogs.
Regulation sized hot dogs.
Yeah, regulation dogs.
Okay, and we got traditional buns.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give myself 13. No way, we're doing your
13?
fucking 25 ass hot dogs you were claiming on the show, like some lying ass liar.
Well, let me give a rebuttal. First of all, I said I wasn't a big hot dog guy last week. That has changed.
What the hell?
I've only eaten hot dogs for the past 4 meals. That's not a bit. I've only eaten hot dogs
Bring that up tomorrow at your appointment.
for the last 4 meals. Anyways, second off, so I do want to apologize to everybody for saying.
Oh, I thought you were about to unveil that you were a coward.
Oh,
No, well, I was a
Yes.
coward about the hot dogs. I do want to apologize for everybody that heard my hot dog comments. I did not mean them. They are delicious. Sauerkraut, onion, mustard gang all the way. That being said, I would like to up my total to 30 in one sitting for
No.
$3,000.
I'm not even acknowledging that.
You really don't think you could exert yourself for $100 a dog? I mean, 12 is not that many hot dogs. Like my uncle,
That's a lot of hot dogs.
My 71-year-old uncle could put down a dozen hot dogs tomorrow.
That's
no
more
crap.
than a pack of hot dogs.
Well, yeah, that's not a problem. 2 packs of hot dogs.
Tanner is a liar.
No,
And
I
probably
really
a
think,
cheat.
I would not cheat. Think of a goal for the podcast.
Okay, wait. I have something for you. If you eat 30 hot dogs in one sitting, I will give you $3,000. But if you don't, you owe me $1,000.
How serious is this?
This is very serious because you're pissing me off.
I can't do 1,000, Dan. I don't know if you heard about my financial trouble at the beginning of the show.
Well, the juice has got to be worth the squeeze for me too here, Tanner.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh shit. What if I
You
give
just
you
can't
100?
do it. You just can't do it.
No, I think I could do it, but I don't. I mean, who's preparing my dogs? Is it you?
You can
Like,
prepare
they
your
could
own
be-
dogs.
They could
Are
be.
you saying I
spiked.
can't? Are you saying I can't make hot dogs?
I mean, you could spike them. I don't know. You could drug my dogs.
Spiking hot
What's
dogs.
going?
I'm putting in hot
Dude, you could put Benadryl in weenies, and my ass would be asleep no time flat. Am I crazy?
Yes,
I
100%.
think, I think I'm crazy if I Benadryl your hot dogs.
Have you not seen that horse on? Oh wait, that was a carrot. But still, there's a horse on TikTok that eats a carrot with like 7 Benadryl in it. What if that was you with my hot dogs?
All I can think is about when Tanner talking about hot dogs is Detroiters.
Anyways, think of a goal for violent
Good
people,
show.
and if we
Great
hit
show.
it, it's a good show. If we hit it, I'll eat 30 hot dogs one sitting,
Tanner has
single take. It will be WWE Monday Night Raw style, one single take, one camera angle, no
Cinema?
cuts. Yeah, it'll be cinema.
Wait, what was the goal? Did you say?
I don't know. Think of a goal. It's gonna be like a big goal.
200 users in the Discord.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah!
Woo!
Not 200. We already hit it.
I'm straight chilling. I'm very happy to be back.
Yeah, so
fully
you were
healthy.
out of town. So I know you didn't get a chance to listen last week, but Sam told us that you were out of town at quote a dick sucking convention.
Yes, that I had a great time.
All right. Good.
I did not say that. I want that for the record. Please leave on the show.
Well, the only way for you to find out if Sam actually said that or not, and I'm speaking to you, the listener, is to go back and listen to the previous week of VPR again. And I say again because you should have already listened to it. So our big top this week is I went on a website called the Top Tens. There's another podcast called Podcast About List, and they gave me the idea to go on this website called the Top Tens and see what they had for wrestling. And I found a list you voted on by the users of this website of the biggest jerks in pro wrestling. The other 3 co-hosts have not seen this list and do not know who these people have decided are the biggest jerks, other than me telling them a few names that were very funny for being just wildly out of place. So before we start, who do you guys think is the number, and bear in mind, this is voted on, so this is in the minds of, the voting population of the top10s.com. Who do you think they have as the biggest jerk in pro wrestling?
Can you remember the name of this website?
The top 10s.
It's just
Well-
the top 10s.
The top
Okay.
10s.
That's funny because I saw people talking about this on Twitter today. If this was 10 years ago, it's like Triple H. But like people like him a lot now. People probably call him like Papa H and stuff. Like people are weird. So I don't know.
I'm gonna say Hulk Hogan.
Oh, that's a good shot. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Hulk Hogan
steal that one.
feels like the right move. I'm just gonna
Okay, well,
steal it
I'm
and
going-
say it is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon.
We're
I'm
all
going to read a
invested.
comment by a user named Robert Wisdom.
It sounds
With a
smart.
name like Robert Wisdom, he's probably pretty
full-
wise.
He's gotta be smart.
And he says, this guy took steroids to appease McMahon, then proceeded to sleep with McMahon's daughter just so he could get ahead in the business.
I
The
still don't know who
longest,
it is for sure.
slowest, most painful and cringiest promos ever. Racist as anything, and one of the biggest backstage politicians ever. He tried to ruin Kurt Angle's title push and buried many wrestlers by complaining to his wife and father. Countless main events and 14-time champion without ever being as popular as Austin, Rock, or Taker. Parentheses, he has even more title reigns than all 3. and now he is an executive in WWE because he married the $1 billion princess. Triple H, you are scum.
Now let me
That is
say,
number one.
let me say,
It
if I
is
read it to you
Triple
like
H.
this guy took steroids to appease McMahon, cringiest promos, racist as anything, one of the biggest backstage politicians ever. That could still be Hulk Hogan.
True, but he, number one is Triple H.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
Should have stuck with my gut.
Everyone, another person says, remember SummerSlam '99?
I don't.
That's
No.
okay.
I don't. Is that my fault?
And,
I don't.
My thing
someone
is,
else,
I thought I did, but what am I remembering? That
I don't know.
Stone Cold wouldn't lose to Triple H?
I think so.
So he must be a jerk.
All I have to say is look at the promos for his match with Booker T. Awful stuff to make you vomit. Have you guys ever vomited from a wrestling promo?
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Okay. So bear in mind, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Number 2 is not Hulk Hogan,
Fuck.
and it is not
Hulk's really
someone from. It's not someone from WWF, WWE, or WCW.
Wow.
Who do you think is number 2, voted by random website users as the biggest jerk in wrestling?
So you said no WWE, no WCW?
Right, not someone from WWE, WCW, or WWE in the WWF days. Like, was never in the big 2.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What year was this? This voted on?
It is not dated.
Oh,
like
this
that.
is terrible.
I feel like fucking everyone's worked for one of the two, right?
Yeah, that's a veer limits it, especially for a fan poll.
Yeah, so he's not going to be
Is
like
this?
some luchador.
Is it? Is it Invader 2?
Oh, that's good.
No, it is not.
All he did was murder.
But
That's not a big
you're
deal.
you're on the right track. You're on the right track.
Also, it's a murderer.
So
Well-
it's someone that killed someone.
Actually, yes.
So it's not. It could be Rey Mysterio, but he worked both those companies.
Sasaki.
It is. Are you ready to hear the big reveal?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah.
New Jack,
What?
the number
What?
2 biggest jerk in professional
Come
wrestling. is
on.
New
This
Jack.
list is bullshit. I only heard nice stories
One
about New
person's
Jack.
entire comment is the guy cuts people in the ring without their permission.
Who? Just
They
a
should have
couple
wrestled
people.
him.
Another person says he once beat up an old man. Real tough guy.
Ooh.
Gypsy Joe.
He beat up, Gypsy Joe.
Okay. Fair
And it
enough.
kind of rules.
Someone else says he just died today and he deserved it.
Oh,
Oh my god.
that guy seems like a jerk.
I'm just saying, the Discord has to do a lot of work to keep up with the top 10s from what I'm seeing.
Oh my god. We should do this poll again and put it on
Yeah,
my people.
the biggest jerks. I mean, I think we already know who would win. It would be like MJF.
Could be Will
No.
Ospreay.
Yeah,
Don't
it
talk
would be
about
whoever people don't like from AEW at that moment in time. But number 3 is Mr. Hulk Hogan.
There he
Okay.
is.
You guys weren't far off with the number 1 guess. As explained by user BR1995, he is heavily hated by today's IWC and many wrestlers of his time. Which I think
Yeah.
sums it up, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted him at number 1.
Short-
We're not going to argue at number 3.
I'm scanning the comments about Hogan, and someone wrote, he is the biggest jerk in wrestling and sexy too.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
So that we've found Jimmy Hart's account. Another person calls Hulk Hogan a weirdo.
Accurate.
All right.
So now that we've made it past Hogan, who do we think is number 4? Who do we think is just under Triple H, New Jack, and Hulk Hogan as
One-
Chris
biggest
Benoit.
jerk?
Jimmy Snuka.
Jimmy Snuka's a good one.
I'm gonna say Benoit is closer to correct than Snuka, but not.
That's an interesting gray area that we're operating in.
Because it's
To be
like,
fair,
Hulk
think-
Hogan is terrible, but like,
is he a
Benoit's
jerk?
murderer.
Does killing
But I
your
also-
family make you a jerk?
Yeah, say when
Food for
someone's like
thought.
that. Whenever I find out about a murderer, I don't go, "What a jerk."
Yeah, is
It is a
having
big
CTE
jerk.
a crime?
It could be.
Maybe it's the other way. Then maybe it's like a Vince Russo.
Well, I like how you said it's closer to Benoit than Snuka, and you're like, yeah, Vince Russo.
Oh, I get what you're saying. No, wait. Okay, I wasn't. I didn't get Pat's comment at first. Okay, Lesnar.
Yeah, 100%.
He's getting
It
fucked
is
in our polling
Brock-
too. The fans don't know shit.
I don't
Brock
understand
Lesnar
this
is
because
the
New
number
Jack
4
died.
biggest jerk.
When did New Jack die?
Like 10 years ago.
Oh, you're right. That came out.
So
What
Brock
did-
Lesnar has just been a jerk to people for a decade?
I mean, what did he
Lesnar
do?
is a complete ass. He has no mic skills whatsoever. Lesnar has twice been caught doping in MMA. He is a no-talent hack who should have never been brought back to WWE. Mr. Lesnar needs to be released.
Okay.
If I
No, that's
would
all
have
I
thought
asked.
about,
This is-
Lesnar.
if I would have thought about the dates, I never would have guessed
part-time.
Brock.
What's
Yeah,
that? You
this-
never would have guessed Brock if what?
If I would have thought about the dates, Sam's right. Like this is before the law, like all that stuff came out. So
Yeah.
But
then you have to
people
remember,
can
like,
still
oh,
vote
people-
and people can still vote and leave comments.
oh, right now we could vote.
So
We can change
it's
this list.
open-ended.
Okay.
I don't know when, but they don't have any dates on when these comments are
This is
put in.
incredible. I am at a loss for words of what we're doing right now.
This guy is such a tool. He can do a suplex and ... question mark. Anyone not willing to fully
Got him.
commit to WWE is a jerk. Letting a part-timer wear the belt is one example WWE is down in the toilet.
No, I do feel like these comments
Yeah,
are
his-
from the
His
right
greatest
period.
his greatest crime, being a part-timer.
Yeah.
I can't
Taking
wait
a
till we.
spot from someone more deserving, like Seth freaking Rollins.
I can't wait till we get the fucking Ricochet on the list. Fucking leaving the WWE. Jerk.
Well, I'll tell you, number 5 is not Ricochet, but it's someone from the Monday Night Wars. Do we have any guesses on who from the Monday Night Wars era of wrestling might be the number 5 biggest jerk?
man.
Is this Russo?
It's not Vince Russo.
See, I didn't want to keep. I felt bad for Vince. I keep throwing him out.
Goldberg.
Oh, that's good. He retired Bret Hart.
Exactly.
Any more
Andy
guesses?
quit.
Right. What's that?
Bischoff?
It is Kevin
Oh.
Nash.
Oh,
Oh,
what are we
come
doing here, folks?
Oh my god. You know, Vanilla Midget's voting in this poll.
Well, someone's comment. Chokeslammed his own kid even though the kid shouldn't have started it, and claimed wrestling died when Benoit and Guerrero were champion. Someone else calls him a bitter has-been who has so many injuries he cannot do much in the ring. Now, number 6 is another left field pick, but the people who it's someone who is basically in for one reason, and I don't know if you guys are going to guess. It is a deathmatch legend who did something bad enough that people decided to label him the 6th biggest jerk in wrestling.
Really?
Deathmatch legend.
Death match legend. Well, and when Pat says it, that carries some weight here.
Well, it's funny when you think about
It could be
Deathmatch
anyone.
Legends. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. See, I was thinking like a lot of the guys like, Foley and Funk, like you have positive thoughts about them. Necro feels like he's done more than one thing to be
Yeah,
a
he's
jerk.
The
yeah,
people voting here don't know who Necro is.
That's true too.
yeah. And I'm also assuming the bulk of this was voted on 10 years ago.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Correct.
Because he gave
Oh.
everyone Hep.
Because he gave people Hep C. He gave Hannibal
Yeah,
Hep C.
perfect.
Yep.
See, yeah,
Yeah, listen to Hannibal
you
talk
really
a
do
little
have to
bit.
think 10
Maybe
years
you
ago.
will
'Cause
too.
that feels like when all this shit was being talked about.
But even with the 10 years ago thing, I'm not sure you can guess who number 7 is.
Any hints here?
Because even I am just like mystified. I have no justification beyond people just don't like this guy.
"10 years ago."
Bret Hart.
No, that's you, Sam.
Oh yeah, I just fucking hate that guy. He sucks.
We already
Is he a
had
top
Randy
500
Orton.
wrestler of all time?
Randy Orton is close.
He's
John
shit in a
Cena?
bag.
It is the animal, Dave Batista. the
Oh, I was
seventh
crazy close.
jerk. I was
Wow.
scrolling down to see if Bret Hart made the list at all, but he is not in the top 50 vote getters. Number 49 is
Wow.
Sting.
But you got to think 10 years ago, or it's like, well, I guess it's probably like 11, is when he wins the Rumble and people are
Yeah,
furious.
he comes exactly. Man,
Yep.
this really does feel like a time capsule.
And it's funny because
Sucks
it's
up
like him winning and not Daniel Bryan, worse than Benoit.
True, because Chris
That's the
Benoit was number 8.
Perfect.
There you go. It's only slightly worse than Benoit, but it is worse than Benoit.
Listen to this description of Batista. Greedy chump who thinks he is the greatest guy on the planet. Calls himself a real man, but has a belly button tattoo and wears skinny jeans. He is always on Triple H's nuts.
Also, he's
And
a
that,
libtard.
Ugh.
10 years ago, that wasn't as bad. But yeah, definitely, Batista worse than the child murderer.
No,
So
like I
with
said,
Benoit,
this is 10 years later. I don't think that Benoit or Batista would make a top 10 nowadays.
so with the 10-year thing in mind, number 9 is definitely a 10 years ago type thing. 10 years ago, people were very angry at Mr. Number 9. Do we have any thoughts as to who people might have vehemently hated in the moment 10 years ago?
Roman Reigns?
That's great. That's a great pick.
Do we have any other guesses?
I don't. I don't.
I don't know.
CM Punk.
It's just that's what
Yeah,
I say.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
He left.
Dumped on WWE after everything they offered him. Accuses Ryback of purposefully damaging
Yes.
CM Punk is a straight up ass.
So this is like February 2014 is when this is taking place.
Yeah.
It feels like, yeah.
This is making me young again.
This is like,
Robert
yeah,
Wisdom-
this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm drinking from
Robert
the fountain
Wisdom-
of youth.
Mr. Robert Wisdom has popped back up to say, if the infamous scripted, quote unquote, pipe bomb promo never happened, nobody would care about him. Get over yourself.
True.
Also, Robert Wisdom also says that CM Punk is, well, he correctly says that CM Punk is delusional to think he can be a real fighter in the UFC. So there is some wisdom there. Number
Who
10.
knew that they're like, hey, he's got 10 more years. He can be a jerk in all different sorts of ways still.
Yeah, I mean, what's awesome is that, like, there are 6 comments about CM Punk. None of them reference like all the stuff he did to women back on the indies.
They don't know about that.
The closest anyone gets is someone's entire comment is, Married to AJ Lee. He must be a jerk.
I don't know what that means.
I
Wait,
I don't know.
Sure, why not?
wait, is married AJ Lee must be a jerk?
Yes, he must be a jerk because he married AJ Lee.
Alright.
That's the entire comment. There's no context given.
I like to imagine that guy thought it was his shot.
Maybe actually, you know what? I think we found Jay Lethal's account. So I'll give a hint for number 10. It is someone who, former WWE champion.
Hmm. Is it someone we guessed already?
No,
Ultimate Warrior.
That's good.
Wow, that's good.
WWE champion. Jerk. Probably Bruno Sammartino talking all that shit about Vince.
I'm just trying to roll through my head here. This is not easy. This is some
you're gonna like smack your forehead when I say who it is.
Randy Savage.
Well, kind of close. Let's read Though Martin 19's comment before we do the big reveal. He's a moron who likes to target new wrestlers and beat them to a pulp because he's too chicken to fight an experienced wrestler. Not to mention he lost to many professional wrestlers and could easily get dropped by any good wrestler out of the ring and maybe out of the business. That is what Though Martin 19 says about John Bradshaw Layfield. The 10th jerk in wrestling.
Yeah, I figured it out when you said he beat up younger wrestlers. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Wow.
There are 3 comments on here in a row. A nasty bully, end comment. A horrible bully, end comment. A vile bully, end comment. Someone here is a huge dumbass because he thinks that is a negative that JBL made Mauro Ranallo quit. So I'm just saying, anonymous user of the top 10s, you're wrong on that one. That one is a 0.4 JBL. Number 11 is Invader number 1.
Wait, what?
Invader number 1 is number 11. We're back to a murderer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go through. Number 12 is the Ultimate Warrior, and this is for, you can tell this is 10 years ago because all the people calling the Ultimate Warrior a huge jerk, it's all for political reasons.
Oh, he'd have a position in the cabinet if it was today.
Yeah, he like RFK Jr. would have lost out. It would be him and the Ultimate Warrior going for Secretary of Health, and Trump would absolutely go with the Ultimate Warrior. Number 13 is AJ Lee.
What did she do? I guess married the punk?
Someone says, why do people get annoyed about AJ Lee haters? They're right. She is very rude in real life. Another person's comment is,
The guy went to school with her.
another person's comment is, she is hot.
All right. There we go.
So I guess
a hot girl outside, I'm like, jerk.
people are mad at her for, at least one commenter is mad because she wouldn't take a picture with them. Now, number 14 has no comments whatsoever, so I have no idea. Superstar Billy Graham.
Sure, why not?
I mean, that's kind of like, okay, I guess because he talks shit about WWE and steroids and stuff.
Which is
But
a little
number
fucked up.
15, I think we can all agree on number 15, Hardcore Holly. Which leads us, I'm gonna cut it off here at number 16, the 16th biggest jerk in the history of wrestling, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, not nearly as big of a jerk as AJ Lee.
He's definitely a less big jerk than Hardcore Holly. One
Well, this
commenter,
is 10 years ago. We only had mountains and mountains of evidence that Vince was bad.
User EU619 says, his voice every time he screams "you're fired" breaks my eardrums. He doesn't know how to run the company without messing up.
That's probably the worst stuff about Vince.
I can't imagine what could be worse.
Another person says Stone Cold should have shot him.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I
then
get
Stone
that.
Cold to be
I
on the
mean,
list.
I don't know.
I mean, beating
So
a woman didn't get
Goldberg
him on
is
the list, so.
number 18. Yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley's 20. Melina is 21 for some reason.
Hot chicks
Dynamite
are
Kid is
jerks.
Dynamite Kid is number 24. There are 23 people who people thought are worse than Dynamite Kid. And right below at number 27 is Daniel Bryan.
What's the comments there? He's vegan?
Yeah, I don't know if he's a jerk, but he is boring and overrated.
Perfect.
Another person says always says yes and stuff.
He'd be saying that.
That's true.
Okay, no, this is a great one. Arrogant, but doesn't do anything worthy of his arrogance. Just kicks kneeling guys in the chest, does layback drop kicks, and dives between the ropes. Unless you're disabled, you could do what he does.
It's
You
true.
know what?
Daniel,
He's not ableist. Great for him.
I have.
Daniel Bryan really doesn't do that many moves when you think about it.
I have
mean,
been
it-
saying
one thing
that
I-
he'd be number one on my DWE list, but maybe he's off of it. This brings up a lot of good points I got to think about.
He already should not be number one on your GWE list.
Well, it's just that he's the greatest
Number,
wrestler
number
ever.
46 is JBL again.
Okay.
What?
He's so mean. He made the
have him-
list twice.
What an official
he's
polling
in-
system they have over there.
He's
This
in
sounds like
under
some
JBL
Violent
and
People
John
stuff.
Bradshaw Layfield.
You would never find this kind of shoddy work over here at Violent People. We're always
Okay.
checking on everything.
Then next time we do the Hall of Fame, you have to pick someone from the top 20 biggest jerks as at least one of your nominees.